Hi guys. Tonight we drift together into the quiet depths of our planet's story. Down where sunlight never reaches, the world begins again and again, in silence and heat. You feel yourself floating past layers of blue that fade into black, where the pressure folds the water into stillness. Here, the earth breathes through vents that hiss and glow. Columns of mineral steam rise like underwater chimneys, spilling silver smoke into the dark. Around them, strange shapes sway, creatures with no eyes, no color, but alive with the pulse of chemistry itself. You probably wouldn't notice this if you walked past it, or rather, if you could ever walk at all at this depth. But here, life starts in the places least meant for it. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Post your location and your local time below. Now, dim the lights, flow straight into the story. You drift closer to a vent where boiling water meets the cold of the abyss. The temperature difference could melt metal, yet tiny organisms cluster in shimmering clouds, feeding on the minerals that gush from the Earth's heart. It's almost like watching a galaxy form underwater. Scientists still wonder whether this might be how life itself began: simple molecules caught in tiny mineral pockets, combining, reacting, and accidentally becoming alive. Each bubble that bursts from the vent carries whispers of that first spark. The chemicals swirl together, iron and sulfur, carbon and hydrogen, forming fragile chains that cling to rock like threads of thought. The idea of life may have been born in these crevices, hidden from storms above, protected by darkness. You imagine ancient oceans rolling over volcanic plains, a world without green or blue, just black rock and silver water, endlessly stirring. A crab crawls over the vent's rim, its shell tinted ghostly white. Around it stand tube worms as tall as people, their red plumes swaying in the faint current. They have no mouths, no stomachs. Inside them, live bacteria that turn chemical energy into food. Together, they form a tiny ecosystem, thriving without a trace of sunlight. You realize that here, heat replaces light, and Earth itself becomes the Sunday. The water hums softly, a vibration that seems to echo in your chest. It's not just heat, it's the sound of chemistry turning into life. You picture early Earth, wrapped in lightning and storms, continents not yet born. Perhaps, somewhere down here, a molecule found another that fit just right. Perhaps it copied itself. Perhaps it whispered, "Continue." And everything since: trees, whales, you followed from that single spark. Some vents release shimmering fields of metal particles, gold and copper dusting the seafloor. They glitter faintly in your mind's light, turning the darkness into a drifting dreamscape. You reach out, your hand passes through the warmth like through breath. For a moment, the water feels alive, as if remembering the moment it first became capable of memory. You drift farther, watching colonies of bacteria glowing softly, painting the rocks in blues and greens. This light is not reflected, but born from within, the result of chemical reactions shaped by evolution's slow patience. Some scientists still wonder whether the earliest forms of life glowed too, perhaps as a side effect of energy exchange. If so, then the first living thing might have been both a chemist and an artist, painting the dark in luminous breath. You rise slightly and glance upward, though there is no up here, only gradients of pressure and cold. Somewhere above, the surface shimmers like the memory of a dream. Down here, everything feels ancient yet continuous, as though the sea has never stopped inventing. Around you, shrimp with translucent bodies flicker between shadows. Small fish hover near the warmth, their silver scales flashing when caught by the faint red glow of the vents. A gentle current brushes past your face, carrying flakes of iron oxide that glint like drifting embers. You think of volcanoes above, mountains below, the entire planet breathing in cycles. The vents pulse in rhythm, and the sea seems to breathe with them. Life here is fragile yet unyielding. Each organism exists in a razor-thin balance between boiling and freezing, between nourishment and poison. Your thoughts slow with the current. The world is simple now: water, heat, mineral, and time. You imagine touching the rock that might once have sheltered the first spark, the cradle of everything living. Scientists still debate whether life began here or in shallow, warm ponds kissed by sunlight. But the vents make a stronger case each year. They provide not only the chemistry but also the architecture, a maze of tiny chambers that could protect delicate beginnings from chaos. In the stillness, you realize the vents are like lungs for the planet, exhaling minerals, inhaling cold water. The ocean floor sighs softly, and with every breath, life continues. You think of your own lungs mirroring that rhythm, breathing in air that once rose from these same ancient waters. The connection feels almost sacred. Now, as your eyes grow heavy, you see the faint outline of a white crab reaching toward the vent, claws open like a prayer. It vanishes into the steam, its shell catching one last glimmer of molten light. The sea around you fades into a gentle hum. You exhale, the sound merging with the deep vibration of the Earth's core. The thought that all life may have begun in such darkness is oddly comforting proof that even in the most hostile places, warmth can find a way to hold on. You let that thought settle the idea that life started not in gentle light, but in pressure and heat, deep within the planet's breath. You float there a little longer, between darkness and glow, feeling time slow to a crawl. Around you, vents continue to sigh, like the planet dreaming beneath its crust. The sound becomes softer, slower, like a heartbeat fading into sleep. You rise from the dark vents and drift toward cooler layers, where the water grows still and heavy. Around you, flakes of mineral dust fall like snow, slow, steady, unhurried. In this silence, you find the first miracle of pause, the creatures that choose to stop time. Far above the ocean's depths, in frozen forests and quiet ponds, life performs another kind of alchemy, one that trades motion for endurance. You picture a small wood frog, nestled beneath a blanket of dead leaves, its tiny body turned to ice, its heartbeat ceases, its blood no longer flows. To anyone passing by, it seems gone, just another fallen leaf among thousands. Yet beneath the frost, life lingers, waiting. The air feels thin, as you imagine the frog's cells filling with glucose, nature's antifreeze. This sweet shield keeps its tissues from tearing as crystals bloom inside it. The frog becomes sculpture and sleeper both. Months later, as spring sunlight filters through melting snow, the ice thaws. Slowly, impossibly, the heart beats again. The creature stirs, blinks, and hops away, as if death were only a brief dream. You smile softly, feeling warmth return to your own chest. It's strange to think that freezing could be an act of survival. Scientists still wonder whether these cycles could teach us something about pausing human life, about preserving organs or journeys through space. What would it feel like, you wonder, to sleep through centuries and awaken in another season of the world? The water around you grows colder now, carrying the scentless memory of winter. You imagine Arctic mosses locked in ice for decades, their green frozen mid-breath, reviving when the sun finally tilts north again. Tiny nematodes, microscopic worms, wake from frozen soil after tens of thousands of years, stretching like time travelers blinking in the dawn. Each one a quiet message that life is not fragile, only patient. A faint pulse ripples through the current, and you drift toward it. The scene shifts a still pond beneath the stars. You hover just above the glassy surface, watching it turn to crystal. Beneath the ice, fish glide slowly, their movements syrupy, suspended between sleep and wakefulness. Some will not breathe for weeks, their blood whispering chemistry ancient and deliberate. They endure the oxygenless dark, by turning waste into harmless alcohol, their bodies quietly intoxicated by survival. You exhale, the sound barely audible in the hush. It's easy to forget, you think, that even in deep cold, there is warmth hidden somewhere locked inside molecules, waiting to move again. Every heartbeat on Earth is a small defiance against stillness, yet some creatures remind you that stillness itself can be a kind of wisdom. The current carries you into a forest. Snow dusts the branches, muffling the world. You can almost hear the faint rustle beneath the ground. Wood frogs, beetles, even turtles tucked into mud, hearts barely stirring. The soil hums with life asleep. You picture the frogs' veins filled with glassy fluid, their eyes clouded, yet behind them lies awareness, a spark rehearsing the art of return. Scientists have found frozen frogs with their skin crackling like thin ice, yet hours later, thawed and alive. You think of the phrase cold-blooded, and it feels suddenly wrong. There is something burning quietly beneath their frozen ribs, a refusal to end. You reach out, brushing your fingers along a branch encased in ice. Inside the clear shell, a green bud waits. Even trees practice patience. Their sap stills, their growth halts, their cells whisper, wait. Spring is already written within them, though no leaf stirs. You can feel that same message in yourself, the promise that life does not fear silence, only forgetting. Somewhere in this forest, a brook murmurs beneath a lid of frost. Its voice is low but constant. You realize that every sound tonight, every whisper of frozen life, carries the same rhythm as the vents far below the sea, a slow breathing of the earth. Warmth and cold, motion and stillness, birth and rest, all balancing one another. You remember the tardigrade now, the water bear, smaller than a grain of dust, able to survive frozen, dried, irradiated, even flung into space. In laboratories, they are dried to husks, sealed in darkness for years, and then, with just a drop of water, they unfurl their limbs and continue as if no time has passed. Scientists still wonder whether tardigrades might one day travel between stars, carrying fragments of Earth's story through the void. The idea comforts you. Even the smallest life refuses to vanish completely. Above the frozen forest, the sky opens into endless quiet. Snow drifts down like dust over a sleeping world. You feel your breath fog in the air, each cloud fading into nothing. Time seems to move differently here, slow, reversible, circular. You imagine yourself as that frog, as that seed, as that tiny worm curled in ice. The sensation of stillness spreads through your limbs, soft and heavy. There's no urgency left, only waiting. The earth has already shown you how to endure. If you listen closely, the frozen ground hums faintly beneath you. The sound is not from machines or wind. It's the slow rearranging of molecules, the shifting of water turning solid, the heartbeat of a planet that never truly sleeps. As you drift upward once more, frost dissolves into mist. The forest fades, and you sense warmth returning, though your mind stays cool and calm. Somewhere deep inside, a tiny part of you carries the same ancient instruction. When the cold comes, rest. When it passes, breathe again. The frost melts away into darkness again, and you find yourself sinking through soft water, neither hot nor cold now, but perfectly still. The light fades entirely, until only a faint green glow pulses ahead. You follow it, feeling your body dissolve into the rhythm of the sea. The world around you becomes soundless, immense, and strangely alive. Here, in the realm where sunlight cannot reach, life writes its own rules. You drift through a canyon of black rock and pale mist, where entire ecosystems thrive, without the need for light. The glow you saw comes from creatures that feed not on sunshine, but on the chemistry of the earth itself. They gather around vents, using hydrogen sulfide and other minerals to weave energy from darkness. You move closer, and see a ghostly colony of tube worms rising like organ pipes from the ocean floor. Their white casings gleam in the dimness, and from each, a red plume sways gently. Inside those tubes, live symbiotic bacteria, tiny chemists converting poison into nourishment. The worms have no mouths, no stomachs, and yet they flourish, living entirely from the partnership within them. Scientists still wonder whether this cooperation life feeding life might be the oldest form of society on Earth. Further on, you find blind crabs walking delicately among stone chimneys. Their shells glow faintly blue under the ghost light of nearby fish. The crabs have lost their eyes entirely. In this world of blackness, seeing has no purpose. Instead, they sense vibration and current, feeling the sea's movement the way you might feel your own pulse. Nearby, translucent shrimp hover in clouds, their bodies lit from within by bioluminescent bacteria. The glow ripples like starlight, caught beneath the waves. You pause, realizing how strange it is that the darkest places on Earth are also the brightest in their own way. Every spark here is self-made, a tiny miracle of biology. A slow drift carries you into an open field of hydrothermal vents. Around them, life flourishes like a dream of another planet. White crabs, red worms, shimmering mats of microbial film, all feeding from the same invisible source. You think of sunlight and realize how narrow your idea of life once was. Here, energy comes not from the sky but from stone and gas. Scientists still debate how far this kind of ecosystem could stretch, perhaps deep within other moons or planets, where warmth comes not from stars but from planetary hearts. Europa, Enceladus, Titan, all might host hidden oceans like this. You can almost imagine them now. Black seas under ice, alive with silent light. A shape moves ahead of fish, long and pale. Its skin almost transparent. You can see its bones faintly glowing, its gills fluttering like veils. As it swims past, the movement leaves a trail of bioluminescence curling behind, like a comet. The light fades slowly, sinking into the water around you. The silence down here is not empty. It hums softly, a pressure more felt than heard. You realize you're floating in a place where every vibration carries meaning. The tapping of shrimp claws, the slow pulse of worms opening and closing, the faint shiver of currents weaving through the vents. It all forms a kind of music, if you listen closely enough. You rise a little and see colonies of bacteria forming carpets across stone. Some glow faintly pink, others deep blue, their hues blending into something that looks like a galaxy, inverted stars beneath, darkness above. The thought makes you smile. Perhaps the universe repeats itself in patterns we don't recognize. Galaxies in space, microbes in the sea. A shadow crosses your path. It's not large, but the shape is curious. Part jelly, part smoke. A small fish drifts toward it and vanishes, swallowed by the shadow's open mouth. The creature closes its glowing lure and disappears. You've just seen an anglerfish in its natural realm. Its lantern dangles from its forehead, a trap made of light. The thought is chilling, but beautiful life, using beauty itself to survive. You drift back from it, feeling the current shift. The glow fades, replaced by faint blue pulses from deeper within the canyon. Down there, more vents sigh quietly, releasing shimmering clouds of metal dust. Each puff feeds the unseen network of life, stretching for miles. You think of forests, above how they draw sunlight and air to live, and realize that this too is a kind of forest, not of leaves, but of heat and mineral. You tilt your face upward and imagine the distance between here and the stars above the waves. Thousands of meters of darkness separate them, yet both create life in their own way. Stars fuse atoms into light. Vents rearrange minerals into life. Perhaps the two are not so different. Scientists still wonder whether light itself might carry a code, an ancient echo from when chemistry first learned to breathe. As the thought drifts through your mind, a soft cloud of plankton passes. Each speck glows for an instant, then fades, as if taking turns to breathe. It's hypnotic, like watching fireflies suspended in slow motion. You reach out and feel the current ripple across your fingertips. The water feels heavier here, filled with invisible lives brushing past you. In the far distance, a whale's song trembles through the water, a low, vibrating tone that passes through your body like a wave. Even here, sound travels endlessly, threading the entire planet together. You think of that whale gliding through layers of darkness, unaware of vents or worms, yet sharing the same oceanic breath. You begin to rise with the sound. The vents grow smaller below you, their faint lights blending into a constellation that flickers and fades. The higher you drift, the cooler and clearer the water becomes. The glow of the deep world slips behind, but you carry its pulse with you, the idea that life doesn't always need light to find meaning. The sea around you grows dim, and above, the faintest suggestion of daylight filters through miles of blue. For a moment, you see both worlds at once, darkness that makes its own light, and light that cannot reach the dark. Between them, you drift breathing slowly, hearing the last hum of vents far below. You think, just before sleep takes you, that maybe life itself is the balance between those two, between what can be seen and what can only be felt. The glow fades, the sea quiets, and everything becomes weightless. You drift gently upward through the dark waters until a pale shimmer replaces the black. The light thickens, turning silver, then blue, then warm gold as you rise closer to the surface. When you finally break through, the sound changes completely soft, waves lapping, air sighing across the water's skin. The transition feels like waking from one dream into another. In this new light, you notice something moving slowly, just below the waves. At first, it looks like drifting clouds. Then you see the shapes, soft, pulsing bodies, hundreds of them, gliding, as if in slow dance. Jellyfish, ancient, simple, and older than trees. Their translucent bells pulse in perfect rhythm, as though the sea itself were breathing through them. You float among them carefully. Their movements are mesmerizing, each contraction a ripple, each ripple a whisper of time. Scientists have found jellyfish fossils more than 500 million years old. That means they swam these waters before fish, before forests, even before mountains found their shapes. Their existence stretches so far back that they have witnessed almost everything, though they have no eyes to see it. One of them drifts close. Its bell glows faintly with sunlight filtered through the sea. You see the lacework of its inner organs, so simple, so efficient. No brain, no heart, no bones, and yet, here it is, alive and eternal in its way. Scientists still wonder whether this simplicity is the secret of its endurance. The jellyfish does not fight time, it flows with it, and so it endures. You recall a strange species known as Turritopsis dohrnii, the so-called immortal jellyfish. When injured or starved, it can reverse its own life cycle, turning from adult back to juvenile form, starting again from the beginning. It doesn't defy death exactly. It simply loops around it, an endless circle of rebirth. You watch one pulse past and wonder if it has lived 1,000 lives already. The sunlight flickers through the water, creating shimmering corridors. Each jellyfish glows faintly as it moves through beams of gold. It's as if the sea is filled with floating glass hearts, transparent but strong. You drift among them, feeling weightless, timeless, part of a choreography written long before human memory. Above, seabirds glide in silence, their reflections rippling across the surface. Below, shadowed forms move fish, small and quick, weaving between the jellyfish with careful grace. Everything here moves without urgency. You realize the ocean has no need to hurry. It has already existed longer than anything else on Earth. A cool current brushes against you, carrying tiny bubbles that shimmer like stars. The surface light softens. You watch the jellyfish rise and fall, never resisting the water, only responding. They have no muscles to swim against the tide, yet they cross oceans. They drift through cycles of temperature, current, and moonlight, trusting the planet's pulse to carry them. You wonder if that might be the secret of peace, to stop resisting and let the rhythm of the world guide you. The jellyfish offers no philosophy, only presence. Its calm is perfect because it never questions. Somewhere nearby, a school of small fish passes through the drifting jellyfish. Their silver bodies catch flashes of light as they dart between the pulsating bells. A few brush the stinging tentacles and veer sharply away, unharmed but wiser. The dance continues, silent and unbroken. You think about how jellyfish have survived 5 mass extinctions, when continents split and skies burned, when ice swallowed the seas and meteors fell. They remained. Not because they fought, but because they floated. The sea remembers them as a constant heartbeat, a thread that never broke. The light changes again, turning amber as the sun lowers toward the horizon. The jellyfish glow softly now, their bodies catching the last warmth of day. They drift upward, closer to the surface, where the evening light is most gentle. For a moment, it feels as though you're floating among living lanterns, their pulses syncing with your breath. Scientists still debate how jellyfish perceive time. With no central brain, they don't think in any human sense. Yet, they react to lunar cycles, migrating upward and downward with the pull of tides. Perhaps their bodies remember what their minds cannot. You watch them rise, pale orbs against the golden water, and feel your heartbeat slow to match. One jellyfish drifts close enough that you can see a tiny crab hiding within its bell, a symbiotic hitchhiker, using the jellyfish as both home and shield. It moves carefully, cleaning bits of debris from its host's body. The relationship is delicate, almost tender. You realize how much of life depends on such quiet cooperation. The sky darkens above you now. Stars begin to appear, each one mirrored by the glowing bodies beneath the waves. It becomes impossible to tell where sea ends and sky begins. You float between them, surrounded by 2 infinities. A faint breeze touches your face, carrying the scent of salt and distance. The waves whisper against your ears, soft as breath. You can almost imagine the jellyfish hearing the same sound, translating it into the rhythm of their pulse. You think back to the vents, to the frozen frogs, to everything that came before. All of it, fire, ice, darkness, light, has led to this same truth. Life continues in every direction. It adapts, pauses, drifts, or glows. It never stops. The jellyfish around you rise and fall in silence, the ocean turning darker, deeper, calmer. One by one, they vanish into the dimness until only a few remain, glowing faintly, like memories. You feel the world slow with them, your breath aligning with the seas. And in that moment, floating between darkness and light, you understand something simple. Maybe survival is not about strength or struggle, but about surrender, about trusting the tides to carry you home. You drift farther out to sea, beyond the glow of jellyfish and the reach of sunlight. The water darkens again, but this time it feels different, less like night, more like the inside of a mountain. You sense stone beneath the sand, heavy and ancient, and realize you're sinking toward the Earth's crust itself. Down here, beneath continents and oceans, tiny miners live unseen. They are bacteria and archaea that eat rock, breathe metal, and thrive in the deepest darkness known to life. You hover in that silent abyss, imagining their world no sunlight, no air, only the steady pressure of the planet and the faint taste of iron. You land on a rough wall of stone. It's warm. Not the warmth of fire, but something older. Steadier, the Earth's heartbeat radiating through layers of basalt. In microscopic cracks within this rock, you picture the hidden colonies. Each microbe is smaller than a dust mote, yet together, they form an entire biosphere. Scientists have drilled miles down and found them everywhere alive, even after millions of years without light. They feed on the minerals locked inside the rock. Some digest iron and exhale rust. Others break down sulfur, leaving crystalline trails like frozen lightning. You imagine them chiseling through darkness, molecule by molecule, as if writing their story into stone. The air around you hums with invisible activity, slow, patient, eternal. Scientists still wonder how these deep dwellers survive. Their lives unfold 1,000 times slower than yours. Some divide only once every 100 years. Yet, in that slowness, they endure perfectly. Time becomes their companion, not their enemy. You think about how different that rhythm must feel, how, for them, each heartbeat of the planet might seem like a sunrise. You move along the stone and notice veins of shimmering color metallic streaks of gold and copper, sculpted not by chance, but by those same microbes. They mine the earth, rearranging its chemistry one atom at a time. Without them, ores would not form, caves would not breathe, and rivers would not carry the minerals that nourish all higher life. You kneel beside a crevice where tiny filaments glow faintly blue. It's bioluminescent bacteria, life painting its existence even in the unseen. Their light is dim, barely perceptible, but enough to prove a truth you keep encountering, that living things make beauty even where no one can see. As you peer closer, you feel the warmth rise, a pulse of heat from deeper still. Beneath this crust lies magma, molten rock that flows like slow honey. The microbes above it live on its fumes, consuming hydrogen and methane. To them, the Earth's fire is not a threat but a feast. You realize that if you could shrink yourself to their scale, the rock would appear as open as a cathedral. Crystals would hang like chandeliers, and each bubble of trapped gas would gleam like a moon. It's a world entirely hidden from human sight, yet larger than all forests combined. Scientists still debate how deep life truly reaches. Some estimate it could stretch miles into the crust, accounting for most of Earth's biomass. The thought feels enormous. Life not just on the surface but through the bones of the planet itself. You press your palm against the stone, feeling it vibrate faintly. It's like listening to a heartbeat from within. Above you, somewhere far beyond reach, whales sing, waves roll, forests breathe, but all of that life rests on this invisible foundation. The microbes mine, recycle, rebuild. They transform rock into soil, gases into oceans, and silence into the hum of existence. You move through a narrow tunnel, lightless but alive. The air smells faintly metallic, like the memory of rain on stone. Tiny droplets form on the walls, shimmering in your imagined light. Each one carries suspended bacteria, dormant for now, waiting for conditions to change. They remind you of seeds. Only their garden is the rock itself. You think of how patient the earth is, and how every living thing above owes something to these miners below. Without them, the cycle would break. Mountains would crumble without rebirth. Oceans would lose their breath. These unseen creatures are the planet's quiet engineers. You pause to rest. The stone feels smooth and cool under your hands. You imagine the millions of years it has taken for these microbes to carve their microscopic tunnels, to leave their mineral trails like veins of art. It's humbling knowing that creation doesn't always need speed or even awareness. Sometimes, persistence is enough. Scientists have found microbes sealed within crystal salt, revived after 250 million years of entombment. That number floats in your mind as you listen to the slow pulse of the rock. 250 million years, while continents shifted, while species rose and vanished, while stars were born and died, these tiny beings simply waited. You feel your own heartbeat slow to match theirs. Each breath becomes heavier, slower, deeper. The weight of the earth above you presses gently, like a thick blanket. It's not oppressive, it's protective. You are part of the planet now, folded into its living crust. Somewhere in the dark, you hear a faint, crackling gas escaping through stone, perhaps, or water seeping through ancient fractures. The sound is soft, rhythmic. It almost sounds like whispering. You imagine the microbes speaking in the language of chemistry, a conversation continuing for billions of years. A tremor passes beneath your feet, slow and distant. It's the earth shifting slightly, realigning. The microbes won't notice. To them, this is just another quiet ripple in eternity. You wonder what they would think, if they could think at all, about the fragile and hurried creatures living on the surface. Perhaps they'd simply keep mining, keep transforming, keep glowing faintly in their hidden cathedrals of stone, because for them, survival isn't a story, it's a state of being. You let that realization sink in. The world doesn't need witnesses to be beautiful. It simply is. And beneath every mountain, beneath every ocean, that quiet truth continues to breathe. The warmth of the stone fades as you rise through layers of soil, drifting gently upward through the cool dark. You pass roots like veins, insects asleep in burrows, the faint hum of life pressing close to the surface. When you emerge at last, the air greets you soft, pine-scented, alive with the quiet chorus of leaves. You find yourself standing in a vast grove at dawn. The mist curls between the trunks, pale gold and silver under the newborn light. Everything feels older than memory, yet still breathing. The trees stretch high above you, their crowns brushing the morning clouds. Some are thicker than towers, their bark rippled with time. You step forward, and the ground responds with a gentle give, spongy, alive. Beneath every footstep, there are roots upon roots, a web so dense it feels like walking on the back of some sleeping giant. You pause at one trunk, massive, silent, its bark ridged, like folded paper. You realize it's not just a tree, but part of a larger whole, a clone colony. Above the soil, each stem appears separate, but below, they are all one being, connected through a shared root system that has lived for thousands of years. Scientists have found forests like this, colonies of aspen or birch, each tree merely a shoot of an ancient self. There's one such grove in Utah known as Pando the Trembling Giant. To the eye, it's 47,000 trees. In truth, it's a single organism weighing thousands of tons, all born from one seed. For tens of thousands of years, it has spread quietly, sprouting, dying, renewing. You walk among its echoes, feeling the faint pulse of that shared life beneath your feet. A breeze moves through the leaves, and they shimmer like green coins catching the Sunday. The sound is delicate, an endless whisper of renewal. You feel it as breath, as heartbeat. The air smells of resin and wet bark. The forest has no beginning, no end, only motion disguised as stillness. You touch the trunk nearest to you. The bark is cool and rough, but beneath it, the sap moves in silence, feeding every branch. You realize that the tree's patience is beyond comprehension. It grows by millimeters, waits through storms, rebuilds what time erodes. And though individual trunks fall, the root persists, sending up new life. Scientists still wonder how long such colonies can last. Some estimate tens of thousands of years. Others think there might be groves older than civilization itself. You imagine the first shoots rising, while mammoths still walked these plains. Every leaf you see could be a descendant of one that shimmered under Ice Age skies. The continuity is almost sacred life, renewing itself endlessly, rewriting its own form without breaking the thread. Around you, sunlight deepens. Birds begin to stir, their songs weaving into the rustling of leaves. The sound is layered soft calls, distant tapping, the gentle exhale of the wind. You feel yourself becoming part of that rhythm, your heartbeat syncing with the pulse beneath the roots. There's a strange comfort in realizing that this forest is both ancient and new. Every trunk before you will one day fall, but the forest as a whole will remain, sprouting from the same memory in the soil. You wonder if the earth thinks of time this way, not as a straight line, but as a circle. A squirrel darts along a branch above you, pausing to stare. It's small, ephemeral, its heartbeat racing 1,000 times faster than the forest's. And yet, it too is part of the same story, the rhythm of renewal written at different speeds. You smile faintly, watching it vanish into the mist. As you walk deeper, the air cools. Moss carpets the fallen logs in luminous green. The forest floor feels like velvet. You crouch to touch it and notice tiny mushrooms pushing through the damp soil. Their caps gleam softly, feeding on decay and returning it to life. Every fallen leaf becomes nourishment, every death a beginning. Scientists still debate what defines the lifespan of such forests. If every new shoot is a continuation of the same organism, can it truly die? Or is death merely an illusion when the root remains alive? You listen to the silence beneath the sound of wind, and it feels like the earth itself is considering that same question. You walk for what feels like hours, though time has lost its edges. The forest seems infinite, endless repetition of trunks, light and shadow. Somewhere, a woodpecker taps, its rhythm echoing like a heartbeat in the distance. The mist thickens again, curling through branches. You catch glimpses of new shoots rising beside fallen ones, youth beside decay. It's a quiet equation of balance. The forest never mourns. It simply continues. You think back to the microbes mining stone and realize they are doing the same work in miniature, turning death into foundation. Everything above ground mirrors everything below. You pause where a fallen giant lies across your path. The wood is soft, half-eaten by moss and fungus. You rest your hand on it. The decay feels warm, alive. Inside, beetles and bacteria are transforming it grain by grain into soil that will feed new roots. Even in stillness, creation continues. You inhale deeply. The scent of pine, damp earth, and faint sweetness fills your lungs. The air feels thick with history. You realize that breathing here means sharing air that has passed through thousands of leaves, oxygen born from the same being, over and over again. Somewhere high above, light breaks through the canopy, scattering gold dust through the mist. The forest glows softly, like the inside of an old cathedral. You tilt your head back, and for a moment, you see the entire life of the grove laid out before you: birth, decay, renewal, and the slow pulse of continuity. As you exhale, the sound merges with the sighing leaves. The forest listens. It doesn't speak, but it doesn't need to. Its message is written in patience. Everything that lasts learns to let go of what it used to be. The wind quiets. The air grows still. You stand at the center of a living organism so vast that no single human could ever comprehend its age or its reach. The thought soothes you. You're reminded that nothing truly stands alone. Everything is part of something larger, hidden beneath the surface, breathing quietly in the dark. The grove begins to thin as you continue forward. The mist drifts away, and the air grows drier, lighter. You find yourself walking along a gentle slope, carpeted with brown needles and soft light. Ahead, the forest changes character, less green, more gold, the ground faintly glowing as though lit from below. At first you think it's sunlight playing tricks. Then you realize it's real, an invisible life blooming under your feet. The scent shifts to something rich, earthy, almost sweet. This is a forest, ruled not by trees but by a hidden monarch, a fungus that stretches unseen for kilometers beneath the soil. You pause beside a fallen log. It's covered in pale threads that shine faintly in the low light. These are hyphae, the strands of the mycelium, the underground body of the fungus. What you see here is only a fraction of it. The rest lies buried, vast and ancient, weaving between roots, stones, and insects, binding the forest together like a silent web. Scientists once mapped a colony in Oregon known as Armillaria ostoii, or the honey fungus. On the surface, it looks like scattered mushrooms. Underground, it's one of the largest living organisms on Earth, over 2,000 acres in size, thousands of years old, and still expanding. You stand now in a vision of that immensity, feeling its quiet strength ripple through the ground. You crouch, brushing your fingers along the white threads. They feel cool and soft, but there's a hidden power within them. This network senses light, heat, vibration, even touch. It passes information between trees, warning them of drought or pest. Through this unseen web, the forest shares food, water, and messages of danger. Scientists still wonder how far this communication can go, how much awareness lies within the soil itself. You inhale deeply. The air carries a faint sweetness, the perfume of decay transforming into nourishment. Around you, the forest floor glows faintly where the fungus touches roots. You realize that this organism isn't separate from the forest. It is the forest, its memory, and its bloodstream. As you walk, you notice clusters of mushrooms rising like stars breaking through the earth. Some are golden, others ghostly white. They appear overnight, bloom for a few days, and then melt away, returning to the network below. Their lives are brief, but the body that made them endures far beyond their span. The thought calms you. Each mushroom is like a fleeting idea from an endless mind here for a moment, then absorbed again into the whole. You wonder if thoughts, too, work the same way, emerging, fading, returning to something larger than yourself. A beetle crawls across a fallen mushroom cap, its shell iridescent in the soft light. It stops, sensing your presence, then burrows into the soft flesh. The cap collapses slowly under its weight, releasing a faint puff of spores that drift upward like mist. Billions of microscopic seeds, each carrying the potential to start another empire underground. You imagine them spreading through the forest, carried by air and rain, settling into cracks in bark, under stones, around roots, each one a new connection forming, each thread a quiet bridge. The world beneath the soil is more connected than any city, more intricate than any design humans have made. Scientists still debate whether mycelium acts like a collective intelligence. Some experiments suggest it can solve mazes, remember obstacles, and adjust growth in response to past experiences. You pause to imagine it, thinking not in words or concepts, but in chemistry and light. A forest of neurons made of earth. A soft drizzle begins to fall. The scent of rain mixes with that deep, woody aroma. Droplets strike the leaves and sink into the ground, feeding the threads below. You listen to the rhythm drip, tap, whisper, feeling the entire ecosystem respond. The mushrooms shimmer, as if exhaling gratitude. You sit on a damp log, letting the sound wash over you. Somewhere deep below, the mycelium absorbs the water, converting it into life. Every droplet that touches the ground becomes a message carried through its veins. You close your eyes and imagine being part of that vastness, of existing not as one, but as many, interconnected, patient, eternal. When you open your eyes, you notice faint glimmers of light scattered among the fallen leaves. At first, you think they're reflections, But then you realize some are glowing, bioluminescent fungi. They shine softly greenish blue, steady as candlelight. The forest seems to breathe in rhythm with them. The light is subtle but hypnotic, enough to read the shapes of nearby trunks. It's said that the glow helps attract insects to spread spores, but perhaps it also serves another purpose, an ancient communication between beings of the night. Scientists still wonder whether bioluminescence evolved once or many times, and what early forests looked like when they first began to glow. You imagine prehistoric nights lit not by fire or stars, but by living light creeping across the forest floor, a galaxy turned upside down. You smile softly at the thought. The drizzle fades. The air grows still again, carrying the faint hum of hidden electricity. The ground beneath you feels alive, warm in some places, cool in others, as if the organism were breathing in its sleep. You realize that if you could see it fully, if the earth were transparent, you'd behold something like a vast, glowing brain stretching for miles. Every root, every tree, every mushroom connected. It's humbling to know that the most powerful intelligence on the planet may lie underfoot, unseen, whispering through the dirt. You run your hand across the moss-covered ground one last time. The texture is soft, yielding, almost like skin. It pulses faintly with moisture, life, and time. You understand now that nothing here ever truly dies. It only changes form, sinking back into the great organism that waits patiently below. As you rise, the forest glows a little brighter, the bioluminescent threads shimmering faintly as though responding to your movement. It feels like a goodbye, or maybe a welcome. You can't tell which, and it doesn't matter. The cycle continues, perfectly content to be endless. You walk onward until the light fades again, and the glow beneath your feet dissolves into cool soil. The air feels lighter, more open, carrying a trace of salt. When you look around, the forest has vanished, replaced by a calm expanse of mist that shimmers faintly with the reflection of moonlight. It takes you a moment to realize you're no longer outside, you're inside yourself. You drift through a landscape made of breath and pulse, where every sound is muffled, every movement fluid. Around you, faint shapes flicker, cells, membranes, strands of something that hums with quiet purpose. This is a new kind of forest, one hidden within you. You move closer, and the scene sharpens. There are highways of blood cells carrying oxygen like tiny lanterns, rivers of plasma flowing between hills of tissue, and everywhere, tiny beings move: bacteria, archaea, fungi so numerous that they outnumber your own cells. You are a city, a planet, a habitat. The multitudes inside you breathe, feed, and work in harmony, unseen but essential. Scientists estimate that for every human cell in your body, there is at least one microbial companion. They live on your skin, in your gut, even in your lungs and brain. They digest what you cannot, create vitamins, regulate mood, teach your immune system how to recognize friend from foe. Without them, you would simply stop functioning. You drift deeper into that inner ocean and see the microbiome's colors unfold: violets and golds, emerald green, deep red. Under magnification, these microbes are not monsters, but artists. Some spiral gracefully, others ripple like flags in unseen wind. The shapes are hypnotic, as though geometry itself had decided to live. One bacterium divides before your eyes. It's a simple act, yet it feels like poetry, life renewing itself endlessly, just as the forests and fungi did. You watch it split, two perfect halves drifting apart, and think how this tiny event echoes across the entire planet. Every breath, every heartbeat depends on such moments, multiplied beyond comprehension. You pass into a tunnel lined with cells. They pulse softly, contracting in slow waves like anemones in a tide pool. Beneath them, bacteria glide on mucus streams, cleaning, repairing, recycling. It's strange to think that your body is not entirely your own, that it's a shared space, a quiet ecosystem balanced on cooperation. Scientists still wonder how much of you is shaped by them. Some studies suggest microbes can influence mood, appetite, even thought patterns. Could they whisper decisions to the brain, guiding behavior for their own survival? The question drifts in your mind, like mist. Perhaps individuality is not a fortress, but a conversation. You turn a corner and enter a chamber glowing golden with chemical light. Here, mitochondria, descendants of ancient bacteria, generate energy. They are your inner suns, capturing oxygen and burning it cleanly, giving every cell the spark of motion. Billions of years ago, they were free organisms, until one cell swallowed another and formed a partnership so successful it became inseparable. That ancient alliance lives on in every breath you take. You think back to the vents, to the microbes deep in stone, and realize that they are your ancestors too. The same chemistry that began there continues in you, reshaped into consciousness. You are not apart from the earth, you are its continuation. The landscape around you grows more intricate. Filaments of neurons flash faint light, carrying messages, like the mycelium beneath the forest floor. Patterns emerge, rhythms, pulses, harmonies that rise and fade in waves. For a moment, you feel you can hear the song of your own biology, a music older than language. You pause beside a glowing spiral, a strand of DNA floating before you like a ribbon of light. It twists slowly, and as you look closer, you see reflections of everything you've encountered. The frog in ice, the jellyfish adrift, the fungus beneath the forest. Their codes all rhyme with yours, differing only by a few letters. Life, it seems, is one long sentence written in variations of the same alphabet. You touch the glowing strand, and it shivers like a string of a harp. In that vibration, you sense connection, not metaphorical, but literal. Every creature shares part of this same story, copied and edited through time. The awareness is dizzying and comforting at once. The air hums softly as signals ripple through the inner ecosystem. Immune cells patrol the boundaries like quiet guardians, distinguishing between self and other. But the more you watch, the blurrier that border becomes. You realize that you is not a single being but a choir, a collaboration between trillions of voices, each singing a different note. You float through that harmony, light as thought. The colors shift around you, warm reds blending into cool blues, gold fading into deep violet. Somewhere above, your heartbeat echoes, slow and steady, the metronome that keeps all these lives in time. You feel no fear here. The body, with all its complexity, feels less like a cage and more like a garden. Every moment, death and birth coexist quietly inside you. Cells die, others divide. Balance is maintained without complaint. Scientists still debate where self truly begins. Is it the skin, the brain, the sum of all your microbes, or something less tangible, awareness itself? You exhale slowly, watching the particles swirl through the inner light, and realize that perhaps the answer doesn't matter. What matters is the peace of knowing that life never stands alone, even within you. As you drift upward, the golden light fades into soft gray. You rise past the networks of cells, through the breath-filled caverns of lung and throat, until you break again into open air. The first cool breeze touches your face, carrying salt from the sea, pollen from the forest, and bacteria from distant mountains. The air itself is alive. You inhale, taking them in millions of travelers entering your lungs, joining the choir inside. You smile faintly. The boundary between world and self dissolves. You are both. You open your eyes again, and the world has changed once more. The air is thin, cool, and filled with pale light. You stand on a ridge of frost, and before you stretches a landscape that seems both barren and infinite. But as you look closer, you notice movement, tiny, deliberate, astonishing. On a patch of lichen-covered rock, a speck no bigger than a grain of sand crawls forward. It has 8 stubby legs and a body that looks almost translucent, like a droplet of glass come to life. You crouch down to see it better. It blinks, if that word even applies, and continues its slow march. This is the tardigrade, also known as the water bear. You watch it move, clumsy yet determined, each step an echo of resilience. Its body ripples slightly as it searches for microscopic algae hidden among the frost. The world it inhabits is small, but its legend is vast. These tiny creatures have survived conditions that would obliterate nearly anything else. Freezing, boiling, radiation, vacuum, even exposure to the void of space. You imagine it drifting between the stars, asleep but alive. In 2007, scientists sent tardigrades into orbit. They were exposed to the emptiness, to cosmic rays and freezing temperatures that would destroy most cells. Yet when they returned to Earth, they revived, stretching, feeding, continuing as though nothing had happened. Scientists still wonder what secret chemistry allows this miracle. The tardigrade stops, and its body begins to curl inward. Its limbs retract. Its moisture vanishes. Within minutes, it becomes a tiny crystal, its metabolism suspended, its essence folded neatly away. In this form, called a ton, it can survive centuries. When water returns, it unfurls and walks again, as if death itself were just another phase of sleep. The thought soothes you. You imagine being able to rest that deeply, to fold yourself into stillness until the world feels safe again. You look closer, and the landscape expands. Between crystals of frost, you see a hidden universe. Mosses, lichens, bacteria, and more tardigrades, moving like gentle comets through this microscopic cosmos. Each one a tiny traveler in a realm of silence. The light refracts through droplets, scattering rainbows across their path. It's strange, you think, how this smallest world feels so vast. The scale doesn't matter. Magnified enough, even a grain of sand becomes a landscape of mountains and valleys. The tardigrade climbs one such ridge, pauses, then keeps going. There's no hurry. In its time, patience is the only direction. You feel a breeze cross your skin, thin, dry, carrying the scent of snow. You turn and see a frozen stream cutting through the valley below. The sunlight glints off the ice like polished glass. Somewhere beneath that frozen surface, other creatures are sleeping, waiting. Life always finds a way to wait. A soft hum rises, faint but steady. It takes you a moment to realize it's not sound at all, but vibration, a kind of pulse that seems to come from the tardigrade itself. If you could listen closer, perhaps you would hear the molecular machinery turning on and off, the whisper of survival coded into every atom. Scientists have discovered that tardigrades produce a special protein, one that replaces water in their cells when they dry out, forming a protective glass-like shell. Inside that shell, their DNA lies perfectly preserved. Even when radiation breaks it apart, they repair it later, as if time itself were malleable. You marvel at the precision of it, the quiet genius of evolution. You watch as the sun begins to sink, painting the ice in pink and gold. The tardigrade stirs again, unfurling. A single drop of meltwater rolls across the stone and touches its body. In that instant, it wakes. The transformation is slow, but deliberate. Legs extending, body swelling with moisture. You can almost feel it breathe. The first motion after long stillness feels sacred. You think of hibernating frogs, of frozen seeds, of dormant volcanoes all resting, waiting for the signal to return. The tardigrade's awakening is no different. It stretches, turns, and resumes its slow journey, indifferent to how long it's been asleep. You lie back on the frost, feeling the chill seep through your clothes, and stare at the sky. Above you, the stars shimmer like grains of sand scattered across velvet. You can't help but imagine that somewhere among them, other tardigrades might drift between worlds, carried on fragments of rock or dust, spreading the story of Earth quietly through the galaxy. Scientists still debate whether life could travel that way. Panspermia, they call it. Could microscopic beings survive the vast, frozen emptiness between stars? If any creature could, it would be this one. You imagine a tardigrade clinging to a meteorite, asleep for millennia, waking one day on another planet, under a strange new Sunday. The thought feels less like science fiction and more like destiny. The cold deepens, the air sharpens against your skin, but it's a clean, pleasant cold. Every exhale forms a cloud that drifts upward and vanishes. You realize that the tardigrade, despite its size, embodies everything you've seen so far: resilience, patience, transformation. It is the smallest mirror of all life's endurance. You close your eyes for a moment, and the frost beneath you feels soft as moss. The hum of hidden life surrounds you, silent, ancient, unstoppable. Somewhere, the tardigrade continues its slow march, tiny and eternal, carrying a fragment of Earth's will to live. You open your eyes again and see its faint silhouette vanishing between shards of ice, its body catching one last flash of light before it disappears. The world grows still. You exhale and feel time stretch outward, infinite, quiet, kind. The frost recedes beneath your feet, and once more you drift, this time into a soft current of warm water. The chill dissolves from your skin, replaced by a gentle pressure that cradles you like silk. When you open your eyes, the sea around you is alive with color. Coral rises in towers and arcs, painted in every shade of pink, gold, and blue. Schools of fish shimmer like liquid glass. The water hums faintly with movement, with quiet life. You float close to a reef, the heart of the ocean's balance. Between the branches of coral, small creatures dart in and out, tiny blurs of orange, yellow, and white. You notice one pair in particular, a clownfish and its anemone. The fish flutters through the tentacles, brushing them as if in greeting. The anemone sways back, its stinging arms harmless to its companion. Together, they move as one body, an alliance of survival and trust. The clownfish cleans the anemone, removing debris and parasites. In return, the anemone offers shelter, its venomous tentacles warding off predators. Their partnership feels almost tender, a quiet agreement written into the water itself. You smile at the thought. Even in nature's endless contest, there is room for friendship. A little farther away, other clownfish drift by, some smaller, some larger. You remember what scientists discovered about them. Within each group, there's a hierarchy based on size. The largest is female, the next largest, male, the rest, non-breeding helpers. But when the female dies, something remarkable happens. The male transforms into a female, and one of the smaller fish grows into the new male. Gender here is fluid, reshaped by need. Scientists still wonder how such precise control evolved, how biology can rewrite itself so gracefully. You hover above the anemone and watch the dance unfold. The clownfish darts in and out, fearless. Its skin carries a special coating that prevents the anemone's stings from harming it. They have grown together so long that their chemistry has merged, a small miracle of adaptation. Beyond them, the coral glows faintly in the dim light. Its surface seems solid, but up close, you see thousands of tiny mouths opening and closing, feeding on invisible particles drifting by. Coral is not a single creature, but a city of polyps, individual animals living together, building limestone homes that grow millimeter by millimeter. Over time, these colonies form reefs, so vast they can be seen from space. You glide above the reef's edge, where the colors deepen into crimson and violet. The water cools slightly, and with it comes the soft murmur of snapping shrimp and grazing parrotfish. The coral glimmers, alive yet fragile. You think about how much of Earth's life depends on these structures. A quarter of all marine species find food or shelter here. Each coral colony, though stationary, shapes entire ecosystems simply by existing. Yet even this beauty has its shadow. Some corals pale under stress, a phenomenon called bleaching. The vibrant colors fade as the algae that feed them flee, leaving behind ghost-white skeletons. It's a haunting sight, like the ocean holding its breath. But even here, there is hope. Some reefs recover, slowly, as life returns to the pale stone. You watch one such patch, faint green, spreading back across the white, like color returning to a sleeping face. The current shifts, and you move deeper into the reef's labyrinth. The sound changes, a soft clicking, a faint whoosh of passing fish, the distant crackle of shrimp. Everywhere you look, life fits into life. Small wrasses clean larger fish, picking parasites from their gills. Tiny crabs hide in coral crevices. A sea cucumber sifts sand through its mouth, recycling nutrients grain by grain. It's like a living machine tuned to the rhythm of water. You pause near a coral archway where a pair of parrotfish graze. Their teeth scrape against rock, grinding coral into fine white sand. You realize that much of the world's beaches, those soft, shining shores, are made from their work. The thought makes you laugh softly. Paradise built from the patience of fish. A shadow passes overhead, a sea turtle gliding lazily across the sunlight. Its shell gleams like ancient bronze, patterned with deep grooves. The turtle moves with the calm confidence of something that has seen centuries of tide. You watch it drift toward the surface, then vanish into brightness. Scientists still wonder how turtles navigate such immense distances, how they find the same beaches where they were born, crossing oceans guided by invisible signals. Some say they read magnetic fields, others that they follow the taste of currents. You imagine the pull of the earth itself calling them home. A small surge pushes you forward, carrying you into a clearing of coral shaped like a bowl. Inside, the water glows turquoise. Fish circle slowly, their bodies flashing in coordinated spirals. For a moment, it feels like you're watching thought itself move, collective instinct flowing as one. You realize that balance defines this world: predator and prey, coral and algae, current and stillness. Every part depends on the others. When one falters, the system trembles, yet it strives to recover, to return to its perfect middle ground. You drift higher, your body rising with the slow pull of the tide. The coral city fades below you, replaced by open blue. The sound becomes softer, almost inaudible. For a long moment, there is nothing but light and water, and you floating between them. You think of how the clownfish changed to survive, how the coral rebuilt itself, how the reef turned destruction into beauty. All of them embody the same quiet wisdom, that life's strength lies not in control, but in adaptability. To bend is to endure. The sunlight shimmers around you, breaking into 1,000 ripples that dance across your skin. You close your eyes, letting the warmth settle through you. Somewhere below, the reef continues its endless rhythm, unhurried and alive. You exhale, and your breath rises as silver bubbles, carrying tiny reflections of yourself back toward the light. They burst at the surface, returning to the sky. The cycle continues, seamless as water, ancient as the sea. The light around you bends and deepens, the turquoise melting into a dreamy teal. You sense that you're still underwater, yet the sea has changed. It feels slower here, quieter, almost reverent. The current tugs at you gently, guiding you toward a shallow lagoon rimmed by rocks and reeds. There, something moves just beneath the surface, a shape pale as moonlight, still and smiling. You drift closer. It's an axolotl, floating serenely among the reeds, its feathery gills waving like pink lace in the current. Its eyes are small, dark, and calm. When it blinks, it looks almost like it's smiling, not with joy exactly, but with acceptance. You find yourself smiling back. The axolotl glides forward, its limbs paddling with slow precision. Around it, the water glows faintly golden, catching the ripples of sunlight filtering through the surface. It feels like you've entered a sacred pool where time hesitates. Scientists call the axolotl a neotenic salamander, a creature that never grows up. Unlike its cousins, it keeps its youthful form forever, remaining aquatic, keeping its gills and its soft skin. It never leaves the water, never becomes something else. And yet, within that choice, or perhaps that accident, it has gained something extraordinary, the power of renewal. You watch as the axolotl drifts over a rock, its body shimmering slightly in the light. If it loses a limb, it can regrow it perfectly, bone and all. Even parts of its spinal cord or brain can repair themselves. Scientists still wonder how this is possible. What blueprint of life allows such effortless healing? Within its cells lies a map that knows how to begin again. You follow its slow movement through the lagoon. Tiny fish scatter before it, though it poses no threat. The axolotl hunts by patience, waiting for small prey to drift near, then snapping forward in a blink. But most of the time, it simply exists, unhurried, self-contained, unafraid of silence. Its gills shimmer again, their filaments trailing behind like coral plumes. You imagine them as living feathers of breath, catching oxygen from the water, releasing it back in gentle rhythm. Every exhale seems to ripple through the stillness, shaping the quiet itself. There's something strangely human about it, this refusal to rush, this contentment in simplicity. You wonder if it knows it can regenerate, or if renewal for it is as natural as breathing. Maybe, you think, healing is not something the axolotl does, it's something it is. You sink a little lower, near the lagoon floor. The silt stirs beneath you, revealing fragments of shell and leaf, the slow compost of the pond. The axolotl passes above, its pale body glowing softly against the dark. Its shadow drifts across you, weightless. Scientists once thought axolotls existed only in myths told by the Aztec stories of gods who transformed themselves into animals to escape sacrifice. In those tales, the god Solotl became the axolotl, hiding in the water, refusing to die, but condemned to stay forever young. You think about that, how immortality might not be freedom, but stillness. Yet here, the stillness feels peaceful, not tragic. The axolotl hovers near a patch of aquatic plants, curling gently into the stems. Tiny bubbles rise from its gills. You imagine it dreaming, though you know its mind is simple, unburdened by thought. It doesn't worry about past or future. It knows only the now, the water, the pulse of life around it. In laboratories around the world, scientists study its secrets. They examine its cells, its genes, hoping to understand how it reawakens tissue, how it rebuilds what was lost. Some believe that one day, its biology might teach us to heal our own injuries, even regenerate damaged hearts or nerves. Others caution that we still don't understand the deeper mystery, that the axolotl's gift may come not from power, but from humility. It doesn't cling to form, it allows itself to change. You float beside it, letting that idea settle. Maybe healing, even for humans, begins with the same surrender, letting the body, the heart, remember what it once knew how to do, to grow, to repair, to trust. The axolotl turns toward you now. For a moment, its small black eyes meet yours. There's no fear in them, no curiosity either. Only recognition, as though you've both been drifting through the same current for a very long time. It hovers there, motionless except for the slow waving of its gills, and in that quiet, you feel something shift within you. The world outside the lagoon fades, the coral, the cold, the noise of tides. There is only this still water, the shimmer of light, and the soft motion of the axolotl breathing. It's as if the entire planet has paused to listen. A dragonfly dips its legs into the surface, sending ripples across the mirrored water. The reflections break and reform, each wave carrying light deeper into the pool. The axolotl stirs, unbothered. Everything here moves at the pace of peace. Scientists still wonder how long axolotls can live. In captivity, some reach 20 years, but in the wild, what's left of their home in Mexico's shrinking lakes, their numbers are few. Pollution and urban growth have erased much of their habitat. Yet, they persist, quietly rebuilding, breeding, waiting. Even now, in the narrow canals of Xochimilco, you can find them gliding beneath lily pads at dawn, their skin glowing faintly through the green water. You close your eyes and imagine that place, the chorus of frogs, the hum of insects, the rippling surface above hidden life. You imagine countless axolotls resting below, their slow pulse in time with the Earth's own. When you open your eyes, your axolotl friend has drifted away. You can just see the curve of its tail as it disappears into shadow. The lagoon falls silent again, except for the faint trickle of water through reeds. You breathe deeply. The air smells faintly of rain and stone. You realize that what you've witnessed isn't just survival, it's grace. To endure quietly, to heal without bitterness, to remain soft in a hard world that is its lesson. You let yourself float upward, feeling the warmth on your face as you near the surface. The last thing you see before the light swallows the lagoon is a tiny bubble rising from below, carrying the reflection of the creature who never forgot how to begin again. The surface light flickers once more, and you rise toward it, expecting the warmth of day. Instead, what greets you is a muted silver sunlight filtered through ice. The temperature around you drops, the water thickening with cold. You find yourself gliding through a frozen world, silent but alive in its own measured way. You come to rest beneath a sheet of translucent ice. The surface above you glows faintly, a ceiling of frozen glass, etched with bubbles and cracks. Beyond it, you glimpse the faint glint of snow and sky. Beneath it, life waits in the stillness. You peer closer and see movement, small, slow flickers between the shadows. A frog, perfectly still, lies under a thin layer of frost. Its skin is dusted with ice crystals, its eyes dull as stone. Yet, somehow, you know it's alive. Its heart has stopped, its blood has frozen, but its story isn't over. This is the wood frog, master of suspended life. In winter, it lets itself freeze completely. Ice fills its veins and body cavity. It becomes still as rock, every vital sign gone. Then, when the thaw returns, its heart stirs again, blood flows, and breath follows. The transformation is so smooth that if you blink, you might miss the moment life resumes. Scientists still wonder how such perfection is possible, how cells survive the piercing cold without shattering, how memory and motion remain intact. You drift closer, watching the faint shimmer of frost pulse around its body. The sunlight filters through the ice, illuminating delicate patterns across its skin. The frog sleeps in a clarity that seems eternal. Nearby, fish drift slowly under the ice. They move so little that you might mistake them for statues. Some species survive without breathing for months, converting waste into harmless compounds. Their blood thickened with sugars, their lives slow to a whisper, but the whisper never stops. You imagine hearing it, the slow pulse of molecular life beneath the silence, the rhythm of survival stretched across winter's breath. Each movement beneath the ice is deliberate, each pause sacred. The water around you hums faintly, its temperature near freezing but not beyond endurance. You realize this entire lake is a paradox, frozen above, alive below. Beneath the hard shell, oxygen moves through slow currents, enough to keep a hidden world alive until spring returns. You glide past a cluster of reeds trapped in the ice. Tiny air bubbles cling to their stems, each one catching light like a diamond. They remind you of the bubbles you saw rise from the axolotl's gill's breath, frozen mid-journey. The frog remains motionless. Snow falls above, dimming the light, softening the world. Yet beneath, the rhythm continues slower, deeper, faithful. You think about patience again, how nature practices it effortlessly. In another part of the world, in Arctic tundra or alpine lakes, other creatures sleep the same sleep. Turtles buried in mud, beetles filled with antifreeze, snails frozen solid, yet dreaming of thaw. Each of them practices the same art of waiting, trusting time as their ally. You move closer to the frog again. The edges of its eyes glint faintly. Its skin, though frozen, gleams with a thin film of moisture. The line between life and death here is no thicker than a breath. Scientists studying these frogs have found that when they freeze, their hearts stop completely, but their cells are protected by glucose and urea, chemicals that prevent ice from slicing their membranes. The blood crystallizes safely, then liquefies again when warmth returns. To them, winter is not an ending, only a pause. You let that sink in. Maybe the seasons of your own life are not so different times when motion stops, not because life has ended, but because it's gathering strength to begin again. A crack echoes faintly through the ice. It's not harsh. It sounds like music, a single high note that rings through the water. The sunlight shifts, scattering prisms across the frozen ceiling. The frog glows faintly gold, as if the light itself were coaxing it awake. You watch, breath held, as a single drop of melted water slides across its frozen back. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, it moves. A tremor passes through its limbs. The crystals begin to dissolve, the color returning to its skin. Its heart, quiet for months, beats once, then again. It stirs. Its limbs stretch weakly, eyes flickering open. The frog draws one silent breath of water and moves forward. The resurrection is so calm, so natural, that it feels less like a miracle and more like a gentle reminder. Nothing truly ends, it only transforms. The light warms. The ice above you begins to crack in long, elegant lines. You look upward, seeing the world beyond sunlight glittering on melting snow, trees reflected in thawing pools. The frog rises too, finding its way toward the surface. You follow, feeling the temperature rise with every meter. The water shifts from silver to blue to gold. Around you, countless other creatures awaken, fish twitching, insects stirring, even the faint outlines of roots moving beneath the mud. The entire lake is breathing again. You break through the surface into the soft air of early spring. The sound is overwhelming. Dripping water, distant birds, the whisper of wind through thawing reeds. The frog leaps from the edge of the ice onto wet soil, its skin gleaming with new life. You watch it disappear into the grass, leaving only ripples behind. Scientists still debate how such resilience evolved, why some species can surrender to death and return untouched, while others cannot. But here, standing in the melt of the world, the answer feels simple. Because life never forgot how to be still without ending. The air smells of soil and sunlight. You take a breath, slow and deep. The sound of dripping water becomes a heartbeat again, soft and sure. Somewhere beneath you, in pockets of ice yet to melt, other frogs are waiting their turn, and you realize, quietly, that you are waiting too for warmth, for renewal, for another beginning. The last of the ice dissolves into mist, and the sound of dripping becomes the steady hush of waves. You're back in warmer water now, but this time the sea is alive with sound, a delicate crackling, like the distant crack of a campfire beneath the waves. It's soft at first, then sharper, echoing through the water with strange rhythm. You turn toward the noise, curious. A small shape darts past you, then another, their movements fast and precise. You squint and see them clearly. Now pistol shrimp, tiny but fierce, their claws gleaming like polished glass. Each time one snaps its claw, the sound explodes through the water, like lightning in miniature. You swim closer, careful not to disturb them. One shrimp hovers near a rock, its claw open like a weapon. When it snaps shut, the noise is so sharp you feel it more than hear it, a percussive thud that makes the surrounding fish flinch. The shockwave from that snap creates a bubble so hot and fast that for a split second, it reaches temperatures hotter than the surface of the Sunday. You stare in awe. Something so small has harnessed an energy that could shape worlds. Scientists have measured these tiny explosions. The force can stun prey instantly or shatter the shells of small crabs. Yet, the shrimp itself remains unharmed. Its claw acts like a sonic cannon, designed perfectly by evolution. You watch another one. Snap light flashes for an instant, a burst of sound that seems impossible in this quiet world. It's strange how such violence feels peaceful here. The rhythm of the shrimp becomes part of the ocean's own heartbeat. You realize that beneath the calm of the sea, there's always this hidden intensity life, creating energy from the simplest motion. A pair of pistol shrimp emerge from a hollow shell nearby. One stays alert while the other digs, clearing sand to expand their burrow. You notice a small goby fish hovering near the entrance, eyes wide, body twitching. It's not an intruder, it's a roommate. The shrimp, nearly blind, relies on the goby's sharp sight. The fish warns of danger with a flick of its tail, and in return, it shares the shrimp's safe home. Cooperation born from need, held together by trust. You smile at the sight. Even here, among bursts of heat and sound, there is partnership. The sea finds balance in every niche. As you drift closer, a faint vibration hums through the water, blending with the shrimp's percussion. It's like a choir of bubbles, each note precise and brief. You realize this is not random noise, it's a chorus. A reef filled with snapping shrimp sounds like a rainstorm from above. If you place a microphone underwater, you'd hear that endless crackling, a background rhythm of life in motion. Scientists still wonder whether shrimp snaps might serve more than just hunting, perhaps communication, territory marking, or even social cohesion. Each pop, each spark of sound might carry meaning you can't perceive. You close your eyes and listen, imagining it as language, the sea whispering in Morse code. The water glows faintly now, dappled by sunlight streaming through from above. You see the shimmer of plankton swirling around, each flash of light catching a suspended bubble. The warmth here feels denser, alive with invisible energy. You reach out and run your fingers through it, it tingles, as if the water itself remembers the shrimp's heat. A shadow passes over you, and for a heartbeat you think it's a predator. But it's only a turtle again, gliding lazily overhead. The pistol shrimp hide in their burrows until it passes, then emerge cautiously. The goby flicks its tail safe. The shrimp resumes digging. Life continues. You drift downward to the sandy floor, where tiny burrows mark the landscape like constellations. Each one belongs to a shrimp pair, their entrances surrounded by neat piles of rubble. You realize that even chaos has order down here, each sound, each movement, part of a greater system of rhythm and rest. For a moment, you imagine shrinking down small enough to stand beside them. The snapping would sound like thunder, the bubbles like bursts of firelight. The shrimp's claw would glow gold each time it fires, illuminating the sand in brief, beautiful flashes. You rise again through the water, letting the sound fade behind you, but the rhythm remains in your bones, like a heartbeat you didn't know you were keeping. Every life you've seen, frogs, jellyfish, tardigrades, trees, moves in rhythm, some slow, some fierce, but all bound by pulse. Above, the light breaks into shards as you near the surface. The sea ripples, and the warmth against your face feels like breath. You think about the shrimp again, the way it turned movement into heat, sound into survival. Maybe, you realize, energy and life are the same thing expressed differently. One bursts outward, the other hums quietly within. You float a while longer, listening to the faint echoes. The crackles soften with distance, merging with the hiss of waves above. Each pop fades into a whisper, each whisper into silence. The ocean exhales, and you breathe with it. Scientists still debate how such small creatures manage such powerful forces, how nature designed a weapon that doesn't destroy its wielder. But the shrimp doesn't need to understand. It just acts, perfectly attuned to its purpose. You envy its simplicity, its clarity of existence. You close your eyes, and for a moment, you can still hear it, the tiny, sun-hot thunderclap of life itself, repeating endlessly across the sea floor. When the sound finally fades, the quiet that follows feels vast and tender, like a pause between heartbeats. You drift upward once more, your mind filled with the shimmer of bubbles and the memory of impossible heat. Somewhere below, the pistol shrimp continue their quiet symphony, sparks of fire echoing through the cool blue depths. The sound of crackling fades as you drift upward, the ocean lightening into soft shades of blue. Somewhere above, the shimmer of the surface glints like glass, and then you're through it, floating in open air, the sea stretching endlessly beneath. The horizon curves gently, a living line between water and sky. You feel weightless again, carried by the breeze, until the rhythm beneath you shifts. You hear wings. When you look up, a dark shape crosses the sun, broad, elegant, moving with effortless control. Then, another, and another, birds, gliding on invisible paths across the sky. Their motion feels deliberate, guided by something unseen. They do not hesitate, even when the horizon disappears into mist. You realize you're watching a migration, an ancient choreography that has repeated for millions of years. You rise higher, following them. The air grows thinner, cooler. The flock stretches in long ribbons across the clouds, forming precise patterns that shift and twist without chaos. V-shaped lines, then arcs, then spirals. No one bird leads forever. They trade places, sharing the effort of cutting the wind. The order feels mathematical, but the rhythm is instinct. Scientists have long studied how birds find their way across oceans and continents with such precision. Even when storms erase landmarks, they do not lose direction. Some follow the stars. Others sense the position of the Sunday. But the most mysterious of all are those who read the invisible Earth's magnetic field. You glide closer to one bird, a small Arctic tern, with a white belly and grey wings tipped in black. Its eyes are bright, fixed forward. It's on a journey from one end of the planet to the other, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, a round trip of nearly 40,000 miles every year. The distance is staggering, but the tern flies it as though the world was simply home. Scientists still wonder how it senses its route. Inside the bird's cells, tiny crystals of magnetite natural iron act as compasses, aligning with Earth's magnetic field. Some think they lie in the beak. Others believe special proteins in the eyes. Let the bird see magnetic lines as faint patterns of light. To the tern, navigation may not be thought, but sight a shimmering map laid over the sky itself. You watch as it adjusts its wings slightly, catching a new current. The whole flock follows, thousands of miles guided by an invisible thread. There is no sound, but the soft rush of air through feathers. No hesitation, no fear. The simplicity of it feels divine. Below, the sea stretches in silver sheets. Sunlight flashes on its surface like distant fire. The terns dip now and then, catching small fish that leap toward the glint. You think about how these creatures cross hemispheres every year, always returning to the same strip of beach, the same patch of sky. They trust the world utterly. You glide beside them for a while, feeling the wind brush your face, cool and salt-sweet. The rhythm of their wings is mesmerizing. Down, glide, effortless grace. Each movement carries both strength and surrender. You think of the trees you left behind, the axolotl, the coral, the frog. Every life form finds its rhythm, and this is theirs. Movement as faith. The flock veers westward, following air currents invisible to you. Below, the coastline comes into view: green fields, dark forests, rivers curling like veins. The terns ride the thermals that rise from warm land, their bodies tilting slightly as they climb. From this height, the earth looks both infinite and intimate, every curve part of one great living pattern. You notice another kind of bird among them, a homing pigeon, heavier, slower, flying alone. Its wings beat steadily, purposeful but without panic. Pigeons, too, carry magnetic sense within them, combined with memory and scent. Even when released hundreds of miles away, they return home unerringly. Their secret lies not just in instinct, but in an ability to read the planet's whispers. Scientists still debate how much of navigation is learned and how much is inherited. Is there a map written in the genes, or does each journey carve a new path into memory? Perhaps both are true. Perhaps life keeps its own atlas inside every living cell, passed down and refined with each flight. You drift lower now, following the birds as they descend toward land. The wind thickens, with scent earth, grass, rain. They skim the surface of a lake, wings brushing the water. Each feather tip leaves a perfect ripple. You imagine the water remembering every stroke, every trace of their passing. One tern lands on a rock near the shore. It ruffles its feathers, shakes its head, and looks out toward the open sky. Its journey is far from over. Yet, there's no fatigue in its posture, only readiness. You sense that movement itself sustains it, that flight is not a task, but a form of meditation. You stand beside it, watching the horizon. The world feels balanced in this moment. Earth beneath, air above, the quiet heartbeat of migration flowing through everything. The tern cries once, a sound sharp and pure, and lifts into the air again. The flock follows. They rise together in a single motion, a silver ribbon unspooling across the sky. You watch them until they vanish into the distance, their bodies catching light like arrows. You remain standing on the rock, wind tugging gently at your hair. The silence that follows is vast, but not empty. You can still feel the faint pull of the magnetic field beneath your feet, the same invisible current that guides the birds above. The same field that hums through the planet's core, through stone, through blood, through thought. Perhaps, you think, you are following it too, drawn forward, not by reason, but by something older, quieter, and infinitely sure. The wind softens. You take one last breath of salt air and step off the rock, letting the invisible current lift you again. The earth turns beneath you, magnetic lines glowing faintly like threads of light, leading you onward into the next horizon. The horizon you chase fades from blue to grey, and as you drift farther, the air cools again, thicker now, heavy with mist. The wind carries a deep, resonant hum, so low you almost feel it before you hear it. It's not thunder, it's a song. Far below, the water darkens into deep indigo, and the sound grows stronger, rolling through the sea like the heartbeat of the world itself. You lean forward and let yourself sink through the mist until it becomes the surface of the ocean once more. Beneath, the world opens into vastness. You follow the sound downward. The light fades quickly, and the water thickens into darkness, but the music guides you slow, mournful, impossibly large. The song belongs to a creature you cannot yet see, but you can feel it in your bones. Each note vibrates through the water and through you, as if the entire ocean were a speaker for its voice. Then, from the shadows, the shape appears a whale, immense and graceful, gliding through the deep. Its skin gleams with scars and barnacles, a history written in texture and light. You drift alongside it, awed by its stillness. Despite its size, it moves with quiet ease, carving through water as though it was silk. You feel the next note before you hear it, a vibration that presses gently against your chest. The whale opens its mouth slightly, and the sound pours out rich, layered, ancient. You realize you're hearing communication across miles of sea. Scientists have recorded these songs traveling for thousands of kilometers, resonating through entire oceans. Each population of whales has its own song, passed from one generation to the next. And like human language, these songs change. Melodies evolve, phrases appear and vanish, rhythms shift. A humpback song today is not the same as one a decade ago. They are composers of the deep, rewriting their own hymns to the planet. Scientists still wonder why, whether it's cultural exchange, courtship, or just expression for its own sake. The whale glides beneath you now, turning slightly so one eye faces you. That eye is dark, deep, steady, a universe contained in reflection. For a moment, you sense that it's looking through you rather than at you, understanding something wordless. Its gaze is patient, neither fear nor curiosity, just presence. You drift alongside it, your body moving in rhythm with the slow motion of its tail. Each sweep feels like a tide shifting continents. The water around you vibrates with low-frequency sound, the kind that travels farther than any other. These calls can be heard halfway around the world, their voices bouncing off seamounts and trenches, echoing for hours after they've been sung. You think of the birds you left behind, guided by invisible magnetic fields. These whales follow invisible paths, two acoustic highways shaped by sound. Their migrations are mapped not by landmarks but by echoes, memories of ancient routes carried through generations. The whale sings again. The note is higher this time, rising like breath held too long before releasing. You feel it ripple across your skin, gentle and powerful. Somewhere in the distance, another whale responds lower, slower, an answering tone. The conversation stretches for miles. The sea becomes a cathedral, and their voices the bells. Scientists once described whale songs as mathematical marvels, each phrase structured in patterns, repeated and varied like verses of a poem. Some have compared them to symphonies, each year introducing new themes, others fading into history. But down here, listening in person, the music feels less like structure and more like soul. You close your eyes and let the sound move through you. For a moment, you can almost imagine that this is the voice of the earth itself, resonating through salt and bone, calling to its own children. The whale turns slightly, its flank brushing the current near your hand. Its skin feels rough but warm, pulsing faintly with life. Scars run along its body, marks from barnacles, from collisions, from time, and yet it continues to sing. The beauty of its voice does not come from perfection, but from endurance. A beam of light pierces the surface far above, catching on the whale's back. Dust-like plankton float through the shaft like golden snow. The whale rises toward it slowly, breaking through the gloom into the halo of brightness. You follow, watching as its silhouette glows in the light, then fades again as it dives. You linger there, suspended in blue. The echoes of the song still drift around you, rippling through the deep. They feel like lullabies, written not for ears, but for water itself. Scientists still debate whether whales sing for communication or beauty or both. Maybe they don't distinguish between the two. Maybe their songs are simply the joy of existing, the instinct to fill the silence with sound, to remind the ocean that it is alive. You start to rise, the sound fading into memory. The sea above brightens to silver, and as you break the surface, the echoes continue faintly in the distance, as if following you. The air tastes of salt and rain. Waves roll gently, moving in the same rhythm as the song. In that rhythm, you hear something familiar, your own heartbeat, slowed to match the ocean's. You realize the whale's voice has synchronized with you, the pulse of your chest still vibrating in the same key. You lie back, floating on the water's surface. The sky is vast and cloudless. Beneath you, the sea hums softly, endless and patient. You think of the whale still singing below, its voice spreading outward through the world. Maybe it's calling to another, or maybe it's just singing, because silence is too empty a thing. Whatever the reason, you are grateful to have heard it. The song fades, the waves quiet, and the world feels full, peaceful, whole. The sea settles into calm silence again, the last echoes of the whale's song fading into the deep. You float for a while, listening to the hum of your own breath, until the air thickens around you, and the color of the water darkens once more. When you blink, the light changes, not dimming, but bending. The blue becomes amber, then gold, then soft green. You're no longer in open water, but in a shallow pool surrounded by stones slick with moss. The air feels different here still, expectant, as though something alive is watching you but not with eyes. You lower yourself into the pool, and the surface quivers slightly, then stills again. Beneath the water, you see movement, not animals, not plants, but something in between. Slow, pulsating forms spread across the stones like veins of living jelly. You realize you're looking at slime molds. They move almost imperceptibly, shifting by fractions of a millimeter each second, but the patterns are mesmerizing. They spread outward in branching tendrils, bright yellow and soft white, forming networks that resemble maps, roads, rivers, neural paths. You follow one with your gaze as it reaches the edge of the pool, pauses, then turns toward a new direction. Scientists have long been fascinated by these beings, neither animal nor plant, but something entirely their own. They are single-celled, yet capable of forming collective bodies that behave as if they have purpose. Without a brain, they can navigate mazes, solve problems, even remember where they've already been. You watch as one tendril retracts from an unfruitful patch of moss and extends toward a damp crevice, guided not by sight but by chemical wisdom. It's astonishing, you think, how life can think without thought, how intelligence can exist as motion, as memory written in movement rather than mind. The slime mold's slow choreography feels almost meditative. It has no hurry, no confusion. It simply knows. You lean closer and notice that where two strands of mold intersect, they pause, touch, then merge, fusing their thin membranes into one continuous form. Information passes instantly through that connection. Nutrients, signals, chemical messages. Within moments, the entire network adjusts its pattern. It's like watching a thought travel through a nervous system that lies flat on the ground. Scientists still wonder how this form of intelligence compares to our own. In experiments, Slime molds have recreated complex structures, rail systems, efficient transport networks, just by following gradients of food. Without eyes, without neurons, they somehow discover the shortest, most logical paths. Logic, it seems, does not always need a brain. You sit back, letting that realization sink in. Around you, the air shimmers faintly with humidity. The smell of earth rises, sweet and metallic. The slime mold glows softly in the dim light, a slow heartbeat of color. You can almost feel it breathing through the ground beneath you. Nearby, another pool ripples faintly, and you notice new patterns forming there, dots and streaks, branching and folding like petals. You realize you're watching colonies communicating across invisible barriers. The air hums faintly, as if charged with the energy of quiet awareness. Perhaps this is what the world was like before complexity, when consciousness was a shared field, not confined to skulls, a time when thought was movement, connection, light. You trail your finger lightly through the water, just close enough to feel the coolness. The slime mold nearest to you responds. It retracts slightly, then stretches toward your fingertip again. Curious or cautious, or something else entirely. You hold still, feeling the faintest brush as it makes contact. For an instant, you sense a hum, a resonance between your pulse and its slow vibration. You think of neural pathways in your own brain, firing tiny electrical signals, and realize that the patterns look the same. Perhaps intelligence is not about form at all, but flow, the ability to respond, to adapt, to continue. The mold glides past your finger and moves onward, tracing its golden path along the stone. Behind it, a faint residue glows like a trail of memory. You imagine that it's marking where it's been, ensuring it doesn't return to the same place twice. Memory without mind, intention without awareness. A soft breeze moves across the pool, carrying spores from a nearby cluster of mushrooms. They fall like dust, glinting faintly in the light. Some settle on the slime's surface. It absorbs them slowly, as though sampling the world. Life interacting with life, one curiosity meeting another. Scientists still debate where to place slime molds on the tree of life. Are they ancient remnants of the first multicellular experiments, or a new kind of union formed when single cells chose cooperation over solitude? The boundary blurs, as boundaries always do in nature. You lie back against a mossy stone, letting your head rest on the damp surface. The slime mold continues its patient motion nearby, unaware or perhaps completely aware of your presence. Watching it, you feel the same peace you did in the mycelium forest, the same quiet order beneath apparent chaos. In its unhurried movement, there is wisdom. The slime mold never forces its way. It feels, it adjusts, it endures. When resources vanish, it retreats inward into a hardened shell, waiting for better days. When moisture returns, it expands again. Survival, once more, as patience. The air grows warmer now. Shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy, casting gold across the stones. The slime mold glows brighter for a moment, a thin film of living color, shimmering like liquid glass. Then, slowly, it fades from gold to pale white, dissolving back into the soil. You breathe deeply, sensing the earth beneath you pulsing faintly, as though everything you've seen, the frog, the tardigrade, the whale lives here too, in different rhythms of awareness. The mold's retreat leaves behind only faint traces, a map of its journey. You realize that intelligence, in every form, leaves maps like these footprints in time, trails of learning, echoes of presence. You rise gently from the stone and look around. The air hums with quiet life, unseen but everywhere. You realize you are surrounded not just by beings, but by ways of being slow, soft, enduring. The pool ripples once more as a drop falls from a leaf overhead. You turn toward the sound, and for a moment, It feels like the earth has whispered something back to you. The hum of the slime mold fades into the soft sound of moving earth. You rise, brushing moss from your hands, and the air grows warmer, filled with the scent of clay and leaf rot. As you walk, the ground softens under your feet, until suddenly it opens into a hidden world below. The soil here is laced with tunnels, narrow, branching, perfectly constructed. You bend down to look closer and realize these are not just burrows, they're cities, underground civilizations, built grain by grain. And at the entrance of one tunnel, a tiny figure emerges, its body gleaming brown-red under the faint light. An ant. You crouch, watching as more appear behind it, workers carrying bits of leaf, grains of sand, crumbs of what once were flowers. They move in a steady, flowing rhythm, each step purposeful, each encounter wordless yet coordinated. There is no sound of command, no chaos. The order comes from the collective pulse of thousands of minds working as one. Scientists call this emergent intelligence. No single ant knows the full plan, but together they perform miracles of organization, building architecture, defending borders, cultivating food. You follow them as they disappear into the tunnel, and it feels like walking through a living machine. Inside, the air is cool and faintly damp. The walls shimmer with a thin lining of clay, polished smooth by constant passage. You see chambers branching off the main corridor, storage rooms filled with seeds, nurseries lined with soft fibers, tunnels that twist into darkness like veins of thought. Then, you find it, the heart of the colony, a sprawling chamber alive with motion. In the center lies the queen, large and motionless, her abdomen pulsing with life as workers attend to her, cleaning, feeding, protecting. Around her, others carry eggs to safety, sealing cracks, maintaining perfect temperature. Every ant has a task. Some gather, some guard, some tend to the fungus gardens deeper below. You follow a group into one of these gardens, and the sight stops you cold. It's a farm, a living one. Rows of pale fungus grow on carefully tended beds of leaf pulp. The ants bring fresh material, cut from the forest canopy above. They feed the fungus, and, in return, eat what it produces. It's a symbiosis so perfect it feels deliberate. Scientists still wonder how this began, how creatures so small learn to cultivate, to domesticate another species. But here, you see no mystery, only quiet collaboration. You crouch low, watching one ant place a fragment of leaf beside a sprout of fungus. Another follows, grooming it gently, removing contaminants with precision that rivals a surgeon's. The colony's entire survival depends on this care. The ants even grow antibiotic-producing bacteria on their bodies to protect their crops, a miniature pharmacy woven into their existence. You realize that what you're seeing is not instinct in the simple sense, it's culture, a system refined over millions of years, a language of motion and scent that creates structure out of chaos. You breathe in, and the air smells faintly sweet, earthy. You imagine what it must feel like to live by pheromone, to perceive the world through invisible chemical trails. One ant brushes against another, and in that single touch, an entire message is exchanged. Food here, danger there. Proceed together. You think of how humanity once built societies in the same way, signal by signal, gesture by gesture, long before words. Perhaps intelligence, at its core, is just the art of cooperation. The tunnel curves upward, and you follow it until sunlight returns, filtering through leaves. Above ground, the ant city continues seamlessly. Workers march in endless lines, carrying their harvest to hidden entrances. The forest floor trembles faintly under the movement of thousands of feet, but it's not noise, it's rhythm. You kneel to watch more closely. A soldier ant halts before you, antennae raised. For a heartbeat, You're both still, studying each other. Its black eyes reflect the world upside down. You sense no fear, only recognition, the same way the whale looked at you, the axolotl, the frog, each life aware, in its own language, of the pattern it belongs to. The soldier turns and retreats, disappearing into the line again. You look beyond and realize how far the columns stretch. They vanish into the trees, into soil, into unseen roots. Somewhere miles away, another colony might be working in quiet parallel, and between them, though separated by distance, there's a kind of order, an invisible handshake of survival. Scientists still study how these networks avoid chaos. Some say pheromones act like the colony's nervous system, each signal fading just fast enough to allow new decisions. Others compare them to neural networks, tiny brains that span continents. Watching them, you begin to understand. The pattern is not imposed, it emerges, like thought itself. You sit in the shade, the hum of the colony surrounding you. The air vibrates softly, a sound too low to be called noise, more like pulse. Beneath your hand, the ground is alive, breathing in microscopic rhythm. You feel comforted by the precision of it all. It strikes you that intelligence may not always rise upward. Sometimes it spreads outward. The ants do not need individuality to thrive. They surrender the self for the whole, and in doing so, they create something far greater. The sun drifts behind the trees, light shifting to bronze. The ants' shadows stretch long across the soil. You watch until they fade back into their tunnels, the entrance closing behind them with perfect finality. The forest grows quiet again, but the hum continues beneath your feet, constant, tireless, eternal. You imagine the millions of lives working below, unseen, carving out their universe grain by grain. The thought soothes you. There is beauty in invisibility, in knowing that the world holds steady through endless, humble effort. You stand, brushing soil from your hands. The breeze stirs the leaves, carrying the scent of clay and growth. Somewhere beneath you, the city continues its patient work, each heartbeat of the earth mirrored in the tiny steps of its smallest citizens. The hum of the underground city fades as you continue walking, and soon the ground grows dry and sandy beneath your feet. The air smells faintly of dust and sunlight, and the horizon blurs with heat. Yet ahead, the landscape rises into strange towers, great earthen mounds that glow amber in the late afternoon light. They look almost like castles carved by the wind, but as you draw closer, you feel warmth radiating from them, a living warmth. You stop beside one and place your hand against the wall. It's rough but solid, warm but not hot. A soft vibration pulses beneath your fingers. Inside, you can hear movement, soft clicks, faint shuffling, a heartbeat of life beneath the clay. These are termite mounds, living structures built not for beauty but for breath. You circle the mound slowly. It's taller than you, perhaps taller than a person standing on another's shoulders. Its sides curve inward, smooth and symmetrical, with narrow slits that let air pass through. The design feels deliberate, like architecture planned with care. Yet no architect exists here. The termites, small as grains of rice, have built this themselves, grain by grain, carrying tiny pellets of mud mixed with saliva and earth. You kneel near one opening, and a breeze brushes your face. It's cool, despite the heat outside. The mound is breathing. You realize that these towers are lungs for the colony, drawing fresh air down through their vents, releasing carbon dioxide through hidden shafts. Scientists have discovered that the temperature inside stays constant all year, regulated by a natural ventilation system, far more efficient than anything humans could build. You imagine the complexity beneath the surface, tunnels descending deep into the earth, chambers filled with fungus gardens, nurseries, and workers moving endlessly in the dark. The mound above is only the visible half of a vast machine, a living organism of soil and breath. A single termite crawls across your hand, light as dust. You watch it move, unsure whether it knows where it's going. It stops, feels your skin with its antennae, then continues upward without hesitation. It doesn't need to know the whole plan. Its body already carries the instructions. You think of the ants you left behind, the same language of instinct and cooperation, of patience and precision. You lie back against the base of the mound and look upward. The surface glows in the setting sun, turning the clay a deep red orange. Small shadows flicker near the vents. Soldiers, guardians, watching for intruders. They move slowly, methodically, repairing cracks, reinforcing walls. Every touch leaves a trace of moisture that binds the earth tighter. Scientists still wonder how such coordination arises without a leader. How do thousands of termites, blind and silent, construct towers that stand for decades, even centuries? Some say they follow gradients of humidity and carbon dioxide, tiny chemical cues that tell them where to place each grain. Others believe the answer lies in feedback loops, small actions amplified into harmony. You realize that in nature, leadership is often replaced by rhythm. You close your eyes and listen. The sound is soft but constant, the shifting of dirt, the movement of tiny jaws, the whisper of air through the vents. It's like hearing the earth's own respiration. When you open your eyes again, twilight has settled. The mounds glow faintly in the dimming light, their shapes casting long shadows across the savanna. You realize how many there are: dozens, hundreds, stretching to the horizon. Some lean at odd angles, others stand straight and tall, like a choir of towers singing silently to the stars. You walk among them, careful not to disturb their delicate walls. The air cools as night deepens. A faint wind passes through the slits, and the mounds sigh in unison, a low, harmonious murmur that seems to echo across the land. You pause to listen. It's not just the sound of wind. The shape of each tower transforms air into vibration, creating tones as soft as music. In the distance, lightning flickers on the horizon, illuminating the field of towers for an instant. The brief flash reveals the beauty of their geometry: spirals, ridges, lines, all formed by instinct and patience. You realize these structures are more than homes. They're monuments to time. Each tower holds within it generations of work. Long after the original builders die, their descendants maintain it, adding layer upon layer. Some mounds are so old that trees have taken root in their tops. The termites simply build around the roots, adjusting the flow of air, reshaping the mound to accommodate the intrusion. Cooperation again, in silence. You rest your palm on one of the towers, feeling the cool air exhale against your skin. Inside, the colony continues: queens laying eggs, workers tending fungus gardens that feed them all. The termites farm a specific species of fungus that digests tough plant fibers, turning waste into nourishment. Each harvest becomes the seed of the next, a perfect cycle of decay and renewal. Scientists have modeled buildings after these mounds: offices, museums, homes that regulate temperature without machines. Nature, it seems, solved the problem of comfort long before humanity dreamed of walls. You lie on your back in the grass, staring up at the stars. The mounds rise around you like a city from another time, each one alive and breathing. The smell of clay and night air fills your lungs. You imagine the world beneath you, a labyrinth of tunnels glowing faintly with warmth, each passage filled with purpose. There's peace in knowing that such order exists in the simplest creatures. No command, no greed, no waste, only the logic of survival and balance. You wonder if human cities might one day learn the same rhythm: to build with the land, not against it, to breathe, not suffocate. The breeze shifts, A soft chorus rises, the hum of insects, the rustle of grass, the whisper of wind through vents. You close your eyes, letting it surround you. It's the sound of a planet that knows how to take care of itself. Scientists still debate whether termites think, whether their work is conscious or reflexive. But lying here, you realize it doesn't matter. The beauty of their world comes from cooperation, not cognition. The result is enough. Harmony carved from dust. The stars above you shimmer, each one reflected faintly in the smooth curves of the mounds. The earth feels warm beneath your back, as though you're lying on the skin of a sleeping giant. You breathe slowly, in rhythm with the land, and let the sound of the living towers lull you toward stillness. The stars hang above the termite towers, still and infinite, as the night deepens into a velvet calm. You lie there until the first faint light of dawn brushes the horizon, a slow unfurling of silver over the earth. The air cools, then warms again, carrying the scent of salt and wind. When you open your eyes, the mounds are fading behind you, and the soil has softened into sand. You walk toward the brightness, and soon you hear a sound you know by heart, the sigh of waves. The ocean stretches before you, calm and vast, the sky still pink from morning. But this time, something about the water feels alive in a new way, as if the sea itself has decided to sparkle. You step forward, and the shore glows under your feet. Each grain of sand that the waves touch bursts into light, tiny sparks of blue fire that shimmer and fade as quickly as breath. You laugh softly, startled by the beauty. The ocean has turned into a field of stars. These are bioluminescent organisms, plankton, invisible by day but radiant by night. Their light is a defense, a language, a kind of heartbeat that flashes when disturbed. You watch the tide roll in, and each wave curls with glowing foam, then breaks into liquid sapphire. The rhythm feels like music you can see. You wade in ankle deep, and the water ripples with light around you. Every movement you make creates new constellations. It's as though the stars have fallen into the sea, and now you are walking through the sky. Scientists have long studied the chemistry behind this glow. Inside each microscopic plankton lies luciferin, a molecule that reacts with oxygen to release light. No heat, no flame, just pure radiance. Fire without fire. The reaction is so efficient that it wastes nothing. You imagine carrying that secret, a body that glows not from burning, but from balance. You take another step, and the glow brightens, swirling around your legs. The sensation is electric, but gentle, like being painted by moonlight. The color shifts between blue and turquoise, each hue alive and breathing. Farther out, you see the source of another kind of glow, a school of jellyfish, their bells pulsing softly in unison. Each pulse releases a wave of light that rolls outward like a heartbeat. The sea seems to breathe with them. As you drift closer, the jellyfish gather, their bodies translucent and perfect. Some glow green, others deep violet. Their tentacles trail behind like ribbons of starlight. You remember how the jellyfish were older than trees, how they had floated through every age of the planet. Seeing them here again feels like meeting the past made luminous. You move carefully among them. They pulse, they drift, they shine, but not at random. The light is communication. When one flashes, another answers, and soon the entire shoal glows in waves, patterns moving faster than thought. Scientists still wonder whether this exchange is warning, attraction, or something simpler, an instinct to connect through brightness. The water hums with quiet energy. You tilt your head back, and above you the real stars shine faintly, their reflections dancing on the glowing sea. It becomes impossible to tell where sky ends and water begins. Everything mirrors everything else. A small fish darts past your arm, its scales catching the light of the plankton. For an instant, it looks like a shooting star, You reach out instinctively, but it vanishes into the glow. You realize the ocean is full of such ghosts, brief illuminations that appear only when the dark allows them. You drift farther into the shallows. The beach behind you glows faintly, each receding wave leaving trails of blue like handwriting across the sand. The glow fades after a few seconds, erased by the next tide. The impermanence of it feels almost human beauty, existing only in motion, vanishing as soon as it's noticed. Scientists have measured the brightness of bioluminescent waves, noting how the glow shifts with temperature and salinity. But none of those numbers can capture this feeling, the hush of the world wrapped in blue, the sense that you're standing at the edge of something infinite. A deeper light flashes in the distance, larger, slower, deliberate. You squint and see shapes rising near the horizon. Giant squid, their bodies pulsing with soft orange light as they hunt in the dark. Their tentacles glimmer faintly, each movement painting streaks across the deep. The plankton respond to them, glowing brighter, and for a moment, the sea itself becomes a canvas of color: teal, amber, indigo, silver. You watch this silent conversation unfold, predator and prey, communicating through luminescence, a dance older than speech. It's easy to think of it as art rather than struggle. Down here, even survival glows. The moon rises higher, pale and round, doubling its reflection across the waves. The light above and below begins to merge. You realize that you are surrounded by light that doesn't come from the sun, from living light, made in silence, thriving in darkness. You close your eyes and float on your back. The water moves softly beneath you, each ripple glowing when it touches your skin. You feel the world's pulse beneath your heartbeat, the deep rhythm of creatures whose light is their language. Scientists still debate why life glows at all. Some say it's to lure, others to warn. But maybe, you think, it's simpler. Maybe the darkness of the world inspired life to make its own stars. The waves carry you gently toward the shore. The glow follows, clinging to your skin before fading into the sand. You stand at the water's edge, the surf washing around your ankles in pale blue. The night air is warm and still. Behind you, the beach shines softly under the moon, like the reflection of another galaxy. You breathe in, the salt sharp and clean, and whisper to no one in particular, "This is how the planet dreams." The tide answers with a sigh, a single glowing wave that curls around your feet before retreating again into the sea. You stand on the glowing beach for a long time, listening to the sea breathe in the dark. When dawn finally comes, it doesn't arrive in a rush but in layers: silver, then pink, then gold spilling slowly across the horizon. The glow of the plankton fades back into invisibility, their light folded away until night returns. You take one last step into the retreating tide, watching the faint sparks vanish under your touch, and then you turn inland. The air changes almost immediately. Salt gives way to soil, and the hush of the ocean becomes the whisper of leaves. Before you lies a forest, dense and green mist, rising from the ground like breath. The light filters down through tall trunks, breaking into golden shafts that shimmer with dust and pollen. It smells of earth, rain, and quiet life. You take a step inside, and the world seems to exhale around you. The forest floor is soft beneath your feet, moss, roots, and fallen leaves woven together in patient layers. The silence here isn't empty. It's full of sound too quiet for words. The creak of branches, the slow drip of water, the hum of unseen wings. As you walk deeper, you feel a presence not of animals, but of something larger. The trees stand like sentinels, each one impossibly old, their bark rough and furrowed with age. You reach out and place your hand against one. The surface feels warm, alive. Beneath the bark, something stirs faintly slow, electric. ancient. You remember what scientists have discovered. Forests are not collections of individuals but living communities, connected beneath the soil by vast networks of fungi. Mycorrhizal threads stretch for miles, binding roots together. Through these threads, trees share information, send nutrients, even warnings. It's called the Wood Wide Web, a phrase that sounds almost playful, until you realize how profound it is. You close your eyes and listen. Somewhere deep beneath you, sugars are traveling from older trees to younger ones, water passing silently from root to root. The forest breathes as one. You walk on, noticing how the light changes as you move. It flickers gently, like thought shadows sliding over moss and fern. The deeper you go, the more you sense the pulse beneath the silence. Each tree you pass feels like a node in an enormous mind. You stop beside a fallen trunk, its surface carpeted with fungus. Pale threads spread across the bark, weaving intricate patterns. They look like rivers seen from above, white against the brown wood. You realize the same fungal network that binds living trees is now digesting the dead one, returning its matter to the soil so it can rise again elsewhere. Nothing here ends. Everything transforms. You kneel and place your palm against the rotting wood. The texture is soft, yielding. Beneath your hand, you imagine currents moving not of water, but of information. Some scientists believe that when a tree is attacked by insects or drought, it releases chemical signals through the network, warning its neighbors. Within hours, nearby trees increase their defenses. It's as if the forest itself whispers, "Prepare, danger comes." You look up, and the canopy sways. A breeze moves through, carrying the scent of pine and wet bark. The whispering feels almost audible now, a low rustle, like 1,000 soft voices speaking at once. A squirrel darts along a branch overhead, then pauses, as if listening too. A woodpecker taps distantly, its rhythm blending into the forest's breath. The sound of your own heartbeat syncs with it, slow and even. You continue walking until the path narrows and opens into a clearing. Here, the trees circle around a single giant, an ancient oak whose roots spread wide, twisting deep into the earth. Its trunk is immense, its bark scarred and moss-covered, but alive with strength. You step closer, and your fingertips brush the surface. It feels warm. The air around it hums faintly, as though you're standing beside a sleeping creature that dreams in centuries. You can almost imagine that beneath the soil, messages are flowing toward it. Nutrients from saplings, warnings from distant roots, gratitude from fallen leaves. You realize that this tree is not just alive, it's aware, in its own slow, patient way. Scientists still debate whether trees can communicate intentionally, or whether these exchanges are simply the byproducts of survival. But standing here, you feel the difference between theory and experience. The forest doesn't need intention to care for itself. Its cooperation is instinct, its language older than words. You rest your forehead lightly against the trunk and close your eyes. The bark presses cool against your skin, grounding you. For a moment, you feel what the tree must feel. Its vast stillness, its deep connection, its steady knowing. You sense the pull of water from root to leaf, the slow conversion of sunlight into life, the weight of rain pressing on branches. When you open your eyes, a single leaf flutters down, spiraling gently before landing on your shoulder. You catch it between your fingers. Its veins mirror the same branching pattern you saw in the fungal threads, in the slime molds, even in rivers and lightning. The same design repeated endlessly across scales from root to cloud to neuron. The planet, you think, keeps drawing itself in the same line. You look up again. The morning light has deepened into gold. Between the branches, you glimpse small glimmers, tiny motes of pollen drifting like stars. Somewhere in the canopy, a bird sings once, clear and short, and then the forest falls quiet again. Scientists still wonder whether forests have collective memory, whether they remember droughts, fires, and recoveries through the subtle shifts in their chemistry. Maybe they do. Maybe the soil itself is the Earth's long-term memory, keeping stories that the wind will someday carry away again. You take a slow breath. The air tastes green, rich, damp, alive. You realize how steady everything feels here. The trees don't rush. They simply endure, rooted, yet reaching. Their wisdom is patience, their strength in quiet connection. You step away from the oak and begin walking again, deeper into the forest, where the roots twist across the ground like veins of light. You follow them without thinking, guided by something older than instinct. The forest seems to guide you, to each turn, each shaft of light showing you where to go next. You walk until you no longer know where the path began, and you don't need to. The forest remembers for you. Beneath your feet, the world is alive with threads, each one humming softly with the truth that nothing stands alone. The air in the forest grows still again as you walk, and the golden light deepens into a soft green haze. Everything here feels slowed, yet awake, each leaf quivering faintly, each root breathing beneath the soil. You pause and take another step, feeling that faint vibration rise through your feet, as if the earth itself were alive beneath the forest floor. You stop beside a slender tree with silver bark. Its branches glimmer faintly in the sun, and when the wind stirs, its leaves shimmer like coins, flashing one side green, the other white. You reach out to touch it, but before your fingers brush the surface, the air shifts. A faint, sweet scent rolls toward you, not perfume, but something subtle, green, and alive. You close your eyes and inhale. The fragrance deepens, almost imperceptibly. Then, as though the forest were whispering back, a cascade of scents follows: resin from pine, the spice of crushed fern, the damp musk of moss. The air seems to fill with unspoken messages. You realize suddenly that this is how plants speak, not in words, not in sound, but through chemistry. Invisible clouds of molecules drift between leaves, carrying messages of hunger, warning, or comfort. Scientists call it volatile organic signaling, a phrase far too mechanical for what it truly is, a language of breath. You stand still, listening with your nose. A leaf is bitten somewhere nearby, and immediately, the bitten plant releases distress molecules into the air. Within minutes, its neighbors receive the signal and begin producing defensive compounds of their own, an invisible alarm, spreading across the canopy like a soft wind. The forest is not quiet, it's conversing. You walk onward, deeper into this chemical conversation. The ground slopes slightly upward, and the trees grow thinner, sunlight pouring through in long, golden stripes. You notice small flowers blooming between the roots, delicate, pale yellow petals trembling in the breeze. You kneel to look closer. Each flower opens and closes with the rhythm of the day, their motion so subtle that you might miss it if you blink. Yet, inside those small bodies, something remarkable is happening. Scientists have found that plants can count time, not with clocks or consciousness, but through cycles of gene expression. Their cells track light and dark, heat and cold, shaping movement without thought. The flower opens when it feels safe, and sleeps when the world grows still. You trace the edge of one petal with your fingertip. It bends slightly, following your touch as though curious. You remember reading how some plants can even respond to sound, the vibration of a bee's wings triggering a burst of nectar. You can almost hear it now, a faint hum above the silence. A bumblebee drifts into view, its body heavy with pollen. It lands clumsily on the flower, and instantly, the blossom brightens, its petals opening wider, almost eager. You smile. It's easy to think of this as chance, but beneath the surface, information flows, signals exchanged, energy transferred. Even this small encounter carries the pulse of cooperation. You watch as the bee rises again, vanishing deeper into the woods. The flower settles, folds inward slightly, content. You rise and continue walking. The forest opens into a small meadow where the air feels different, thicker, charged. Around you, plants sway even though there's no wind. You reach down to brush a patch of ferns, and they tremble faintly at your touch. One of them closes its fronds slowly, curling inward. It's a Mimosa pudica, the sensitive plant. Within seconds of contact, its cells lose turgor pressure, folding its leaves in self-defense. You lean close, amazed by the elegance of its reflex. The movement is slow but deliberate. It will reopen in a few minutes, when it feels safe again. You wonder if safety, too, has a chemical shape, a molecule of calm, a signal of trust. Scientists still debate whether plants can learn. Some studies suggest they can remember experiences, adapting faster after repeated exposure to danger. Others say this is too anthropomorphic, that we see meaning where there's only mechanism. But here, surrounded by breathing green life, you find it hard to believe that these movements are mere accident. Everything feels too precise, too gentle. You lie down in the meadow and look up at the canopy above. The sunlight filters through the leaves, forming patterns that shift with every breeze. For a moment, you feel as if you can see the network at work, the invisible exchanges of scent, vibration, and light. Each tree, each blade of grass, communicating in a language you can't hear but somehow understand. The air smells of chlorophyll and rain. You take a deep breath and imagine yourself as part of it, each inhale pulling the forest's oxygen into your blood, each exhale returning carbon for the trees to use. It's not metaphor, it's partnership. You and the forest breathe each other's life in an endless circle. A bird calls softly in the distance. Its voice echoes once, twice, and fades. You feel no urge to move. Time here feels stretched, elastic. The light thickens, turning amber, then soft gold as evening begins to form. You notice a small vine climbing a nearby tree, its tendrils wrapping upward with slow precision. Each coil finds a grip, tightens, then rests. The vine is growing toward the sunlight, but not randomly. Scientists have found that climbing plants can sense obstacles before touching them, responding to faint electrical cues in the air. The forest, it seems, is alive with unseen maps. You close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your pulse, syncing with the forest's respiration. Beneath you, roots exchange sugars, fungi carry messages, leaves breathe quietly into the air. It's all one system, one long conversation that began long before language. Scientists still wonder how far plant awareness extends. Can a forest know itself? Can a tree feel its neighbor's death? Perhaps the answers lie in speed. The tree's perception unfolds in hours, days, years too slow for your mind to grasp. But that doesn't mean it isn't happening. The forest's thoughts simply move on a different clock. The sun dips lower, painting the trees in bronze. You sit up, feeling a faint breeze drift through the clearing. The smell of pine returns, rich and grounding. You realize the forest has been speaking to you all along through scent, through stillness, through the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You stand, brushing soil from your hands. The light dims to soft blue, and the first stars appear above the canopy. The forest sighs, ready for its long, slow night. You whisper a thank you, not to anyone in particular, but to the green intelligence that has sheltered you in its patience. As you step back onto the path, a final gust of wind carries a faint, sweet fragrance toward you, something like memory or farewell. You inhale deeply, and the scent settles somewhere in you that words can't reach. The forest thins as you continue forward, the canopy giving way to open sky. You step from shade into sunlight, and suddenly, The world brightens gold against green, soft wind carrying the hum of distant insects. The air smells dry now, touched with the faint sweetness of grass. Ahead, you see stalks swaying like a green tide. It's a bamboo grove, tall and serene, the sound of rustling leaves crisp as whispers. You walk among them. The stalks rise in elegant columns, each one hollow, each joint dividing the stem with perfect geometry. When the wind moves, they sway together, brushing one another with soft clacks that sound almost like distant wind chimes. The light filters through their narrow leaves, dappling the ground in rippling patterns that dance as though alive. The stillness here feels different, not silence, but restraint. You place your palm against one stalk. It's smooth, cool, but beneath the surface you feel tension, as if strength is waiting to unfold. You remember reading that bamboo can grow almost a meter in a single day, pushing upward with quiet persistence, not chaotic, not desperate, just steady determination. Scientists have studied this astonishing growth for decades. The secret lies in the hollow structure. The stalk's interior is mostly air, a design both light and unyielding. Each cell expands rapidly by drawing in water, stretching like breath held too long. Growth here is not creation from nothing, but expansion from within. Bamboo doesn't rush. It prepares quietly, then unfolds all at once. You tilt your head back and watch the tops of the stalks sway far above, their leaves trembling in the bright wind. The sound is hypnotic, soft rustles, occasional creaks, and the rhythmic sigh of movement. It's like hearing the earth inhale. You notice how each stalk grows in perfect harmony with its neighbors, spaced just far enough apart to let in light, yet close enough to support one another when storms arrive. When one bends, the others bend with it, absorbing the wind's force together. You think of the coral, the trees, the ants, all bound by this same quiet principle, strength through cooperation, not defiance. You walk deeper into the grove. The air cools, the light dims. The bamboo leans closer overhead, forming a canopy that filters the sun into pale jade. Your footsteps sound soft, cushioned by fallen leaves. Every so often, a leaf detaches and flutters down, spinning lazily before resting at your feet. You stop and listen. Somewhere, the wind hums through a hollow stalk, producing a deep, resonant tone. It vibrates through the grove, low and steady, like the breath of the land itself. The sound grows, then fades, replaced by the gentle tapping of bamboo knocking together. The rhythm feels purposeful, almost meditative. Scientists still debate how plants like bamboo coordinate their astonishing pace. Unlike trees, they don't thicken with age but rise swiftly, focusing all energy on vertical growth. Their roots remain connected underground, through rhizomes, a hidden web that sends nutrients and messages between shoots. Each stalk is individual, yet part of one living body. You crouch and run your fingers through the soil, feeling the network beneath. Smooth, fibrous tendrils spread in every direction, like veins of quiet intention. When one stalk dies, its energy flows into the rest. When one flourishes, it feeds the next. It's a quiet democracy of survival. The wind shifts again, and the grove moves with it, thousands of stalks swaying as one. You feel the movement around you, the push and pull of air, transforming rigidity into grace. It's impossible not to see the metaphor, the power of stillness in motion, the resilience of flexibility. Bamboo survives because it yields. You reach for a nearby stalk and pull gently. It bends easily, following your motion, then returns to its place without resistance. Its memory is perfect, unbroken. You think of the frog under the ice, the axolotl, the coral, the termite towers, all adapting by giving way rather than fighting force. Perhaps this is nature's greatest wisdom, to endure by yielding. As you walk on, the grove opens into a small clearing. Sunlight spills through, illuminating a cluster of young shoots. They are tender, pale green, just beginning to rise from the soil. Their skin glistens faintly, damp with dew. You kneel beside them, noticing how fragile they look, yet how firmly they're anchored in the earth. Bamboo begins its life underground, growing roots and rhizomes for years before breaking the surface. During that hidden time, nothing seems to happen. Yet beneath, the network strengthens, storing energy, preparing for sudden ascent. You realize that even in apparent stillness, growth is happening, the kind that cannot be seen but shapes everything that follows. You sit quietly, listening to the leaves above. They whisper secrets you can almost understand: patience, timing, trust. The wind rises, passing through the grove in long, sweeping waves. The bamboo bends low, sighs, then straightens again, unbroken. You close your eyes and feel the rhythm move through you. Scientists have found that bamboo releases more oxygen than most plants and absorbs carbon at remarkable rates. It regenerates quickly, leaving the soil richer, not poorer. A plant that gives more than it takes, a rare balance in any world. You smile at that thought. As the sun lowers, shadows lengthen across the clearing. The bamboo gleams gold where the light strikes it, the leaves shimmering like small mirrors. You reach out and touch one again. It trembles slightly beneath your fingertips, alive with warmth. You think about resilience, the quiet kind, the one that doesn't roar but breathes. Bamboo's strength isn't in being unbreakable, but in being unresisting. It meets pressure with grace, then returns to its form, unchanged. Perhaps this is the truest form of peace, not the absence of force, but harmony with it. The wind softens. The grove falls still, bathed in the gentle amber of evening. You take a deep breath, tasting the sweetness of the air, the hint of rain in the distance. For a moment, it feels as though the whole world pauses with you, listening. Scientists still wonder how something so simple can endure storms, droughts, fire, and time. But the answer is right here, surrounding you. The bamboo doesn't try to win. It simply keeps being steady, rooted, alive. You stand, letting the leaves brush your arms as you walk back toward the light. Behind you, the grove sways one final time, whispering softly in the wind. It sounds like a promise of patience, of peace, of strength found in stillness. The bamboo's whisper fades behind you as the path opens into a field of color and scent. The air is warm, heavy with sweetness. Ahead, a meadow stretches toward the horizon, alive with blossoms, some delicate and soft, others bold and strange. You pause at the edge, feeling a sense of wonder rise like morning mist. Each flower seems to breathe its own story into the wind. You walk forward slowly, the ground springy beneath your feet, bees moving lazily around you in golden loops. The first flowers you see are familiar sunflowers, daisies, lilies, but deeper in the field, the shapes grow stranger, the colors richer. One stands taller than you, its petals crimson and thick, its center dark as velvet. The smell hits you next, sweet and heavy at first, then sharply metallic. You take a step back. The air here tastes like something between perfume and decay. You found a corpse flower. It towers above the rest, blooming for just a few days every decade. The scent that fills the air isn't designed for beauty, but for deception. It mimics rotting meat, luring in carrion beetles and flies to pollinate it. You watch one such beetle crawl into the bloom's center, its wings glistening with pollen, tricked by nature's perfect lie. It's strange, you think, how beauty and manipulation can share the same root. Scientists still debate what first drove certain plants to evolve deception as survival. Was it competition, adaptation, or simply the creativity of evolution itself? In any case, the result is undeniable. a masterpiece of biology disguised as decay. The flower trembles slightly, catching a gust of wind, and for an instant, you forget its smell and see only its grace, the smooth curvature of its petals, the deep folds that look like fabric sculpted by light. Even its darkness feels deliberate, like a painter's contrast meant to make the rest of the meadow shine brighter. You turn away and walk farther, the air clearing as the scent fades. Around you, colors shift again: violet, ivory, azure, gold. Butterflies hover above, their wings beating softly, shimmering like stained glass. Each one lands only for a heartbeat, then lifts again, carrying pollen to the next bloom. The entire meadow feels alive with movement, every flutter and shimmer part of an ancient rhythm. You pause beside another strange flower, this one delicate and slender, an orchid, its petals shaped like the silhouette of a bee. At first glance, you think it's a trick of light, but then you notice the fine hairs, the curves that mimic an insect's body. The illusion is perfect. You smile. This is nature's theater again. The orchid uses mimicry not to scare, but to seduce. Its false bee shape attracts male bees, who attempt to mate with the flower, and in doing so, carry its pollen onward. It's a strategy both comical and brilliant, turning illusion into reproduction. You imagine the bee's confusion, the orchid's quiet success, and can't help but laugh softly. Scientists have catalogued thousands of orchid species, each one more inventive than the last. Some mimic moths, others wasps, even fungi. Each shape is a solution carved by time, proof that survival often favors artistry as much as strength. You wonder if, in its own slow way, evolution might be a form of imagination. You kneel beside the orchid and notice something else, a faint vibration in the air, a hum too low to be sound. When the bee lands, the flower responds immediately, adjusting the angle of its lip, positioning its pollen sac perfectly. Reaction without consciousness, precision without mind. Still, it feels almost intelligent. You stand again, walking slowly as the wind stirs waves through the field. The flowers bend and sway in harmony, moving not as individuals, but as one great organism responding to the air. The colors blend into a living painting: yellow merging into white, white into blue. It's as if the meadow itself is breathing. In the distance, you see a patch of poppies, their petals bright as fire. You step toward them, their thin stems trembling in the breeze. The poppies seem to glow in the sunlight, their centers deep black, their edges almost translucent. When you reach them, you realize how fragile they are, each petal thin enough to see veins of light running through. You sit among them, feeling the warmth on your face. The poppies sway gently, brushing against your arms. You think of how flowers have always meant renewal, beauty, and impermanence all at once. They bloom, they dazzle, and they fade. Their entire existence is a celebration of being temporary. Scientists have studied how flowers time their blooms to perfection, synchronizing with pollinators, rainfall, and the arc of the Sunday. It's not random, it's symphony. Even the most fleeting blossom is part of an invisible calendar older than humanity. You lie back in the grass, eyes open to the sky. Bees hum above, petals drift on the wind. The sun filters through the leaves, turning the air gold. For a moment, the world feels weightless, suspended in balance between growth and decay. You think again of the corpse flower and the orchid, two extremes of beauty and deception. Both are honest in their purpose, both masters of adaptation. It strikes you that nature has no moral about its creations. A flower doesn't choose between elegance or trickery. It simply finds the most effective way to exist. Life, you realize, doesn't play favorites with its art. The wind carries a new scent, lighter this time, sweet and green. You turn your head and see wild lavender spreading across the far edge of the field. its tiny purple blooms glowing in the low light. You stand and walk toward it, brushing your fingers through the stems. The scent is soothing, like memory made tangible. Scientists still wonder why scents, like lavender, calm the mind. Chemical signals in the brain, they say, release comfort, lowering heart rate and easing thought. But perhaps it's simpler. Perhaps scent is memory itself, the earth's way of reminding you where peace lives. You close your eyes and breathe deeply, the lavender wrapping around you like soft fabric. The sun lowers, and the field glows in warm orange hues. Every flower seems to turn toward the light one last time before dusk. You stand still, watching them shimmer. Somewhere, a single bee hovers near your shoulder, its wings catching the light. It pauses, then flies toward the nearest bloom. You follow its path until it disappears into the sea of color, the rhythm of its motion blending perfectly into the pulse of the meadow. In that moment, you feel what the world has been showing you all along. Every deception, every bloom, every scent is simply the earth expressing itself each act, no matter how brief, a gesture of persistence and grace. The last glimmer of orange light lingers over the meadow as the sun dips below the horizon. The air changes again, cooler now, heavy with the scent of damp soil. You feel the world holding its breath as twilight spreads. For a moment, everything is motionless. The flowers, the grass, even the breeze seems to hesitate. Then, from far away, you smell smoke. It's faint at first, almost gentle like wood burning in the distance, but soon it deepens, rich and earthy, carrying the tang of something ancient. You turn toward the horizon and see a line of red flickering at its edge, a wildfire, yet the sight doesn't bring fear. It's beautiful, like the heartbeat of the planet suddenly visible. You walk toward it, slowly. The closer you get, the more the air shimmers with heat. The fire crackles low and rhythmic, not wild or cruel, but measured, like breath. Small tongues of flame move through dry grass, consuming with patience. Above, the smoke curls into soft spirals, glowing copper against the dusk. You realize this isn't destruction, it's renewal. In nature, fire is a sculptor. It clears the old to make space for the new, breaking open seeds that can't sprout without heat. You remember that some trees, like the giant sequoia, rely entirely on fire for their future, their cones sealed tight until flame frees their seeds. In the same blaze that takes life, new life begins. You step carefully around the edge of the burn. The ground is blackened, but alive with warmth. Small insects scurry through the ash, and smoke rises in gentle streams. A few meters ahead, you spot green already pushing through the soot, tiny shoots, tender and luminous in the dying light. The earth wastes no time in healing. Scientists have studied how ecosystems recover after fire, and what they find is always the same. Renewal begins almost immediately. Within days, bacteria and fungi return to the soil, breaking down charcoal into nutrients. Within weeks, grasses reappear. Within months, the air hums again with wings and song. Destruction and creation, forever intertwined. You crouch low, touching the warm soil with your fingertips. It's gritty, rich with carbon, smelling faintly sweet. The heat against your skin feels strangely comforting, as though the planet were pulsing beneath the surface. You look up at the flames again, they flicker in slow waves now, low and golden. The sound is mesmerizing, a crackle like whispering rain. You close your eyes and listen. Beneath the noise of burning, you can hear another sound, distant wind moving through trees, the call of a night bird. Even in fire, life continues its rhythm. When you open your eyes again, embers drift through the air like fireflies. They rise and vanish into the dark sky, leaving faint trails of orange behind. One lands near you, glowing softly before fading into ash. You think about how this ash will soon mix with rain, seep into the ground, and feed the next generation of plants. Even loss, it seems, carries nourishment. You walk through the burned field slowly. The air is thick but not choking. Each step sends tiny clouds of ash swirling upward, glowing faintly in the firelight. You pass the charred remains of a tree, its branches black, its trunk hollow. Yet when you place your hand against the bark, you feel warmth, not death. It hums faintly, alive beneath the surface. Fire rarely kills the roots. In many species, it only cleanses them. Underground, where the flames cannot reach, life waits. The roots of this tree are still breathing, still sending signals through the soil. Soon, when the rains return, shoots will rise again from the blackened shell. Scientists still wonder, at the precision of this balance, how ecosystems can depend on what seems like destruction to thrive. Controlled burns, natural lightning fires, cycles of decay and bloom, all are part of a design too intricate for accident. Fire is not the end, it's punctuation. You stop and look around. The world is bathed in red and gold, the flames dancing in patterns that feel choreographed. Sparks rise and vanish. Smoke drifts like veils across the sky. The light paints your skin amber, and you feel both fragile and infinite. You think of the forests you've seen, the wide networks of roots sharing resources, the bamboo bending with the wind, the flowers that bloom and fade. All of them, in some way, depend on renewal. To live is to burn, gently, repeatedly, and to rise again each time. The fire ahead begins to dim, the flames thinning as they move into less dry ground. You watch as the light softens, and the stars return overhead, first one, then dozens, then hundreds. The smoke rises to meet them, curling like breath into the night. The field glows faintly beneath you, the ground radiating the day's warmth. You kneel again, pressing your palm flat against the earth. It's still warm, still vibrating faintly, still alive. You realize that the ground beneath you has been doing this for billions of years, burning, cooling, renewing. The planet itself practices rebirth again and again. Scientists still debate how early life survived the chaos of volcanic Earth, when fire and ash covered everything. Perhaps it never fought the fire at all. Perhaps it learned, early on, to grow from it. The last flames flicker out, leaving only glowing coals scattered across the dark soil. You sit beside them, watching their light pulse softly, each one fading at its own pace. The air is cool now, and you can hear water somewhere in the distance, a stream or rain beginning to fall. You tilt your head back, letting the first drops touch your face. The steam rises instantly, curling like ghostly smoke. The rain deepens, pattering softly on ash. Each droplet sizzles, then disappears, its sound blending with the earth's sigh. The fire gives way to water, and the world breathes again. You smile, realizing that this is how the planet heals itself, not with permanence, but with rhythm, fire and rain, growth and rest, ending and beginning. You stand slowly, the rain washing soot from your hands. The ground beneath you gleams black and silver under the starlight. You take one last look at the field, now quiet and steaming, and whisper a small word to the darkness, not sorrow, not awe, but gratitude. The earth answers with a single low rumble of thunder, rolling gently through the night like a promise. The thunder fades into the distance, leaving only the soft hiss of rain. You stand for a moment beneath the grey sky, feeling the last of the embers cool underfoot. Steam rises from the earth in slow spirals, carrying with it the scent of wet ash and renewal. When the wind shifts, the air smells green again, fresh, alive. You follow the scent. The rain grows lighter as you walk, and the soil softens beneath your feet. Ahead, the charred landscape begins to change. Shoots of grass break through the blackened crust. The first wildflowers bloom again, defiant and bright. Then, faintly, you hear a different sound, gentle splashing, soft and steady, like laughter hidden in water. You walk toward it, and soon the ground becomes sand again, then stone, then coral. The scent of salt returns. The world has carried you back to the sea. But this isn't the same ocean as before. It's shallower, warmer, alive with motion. Beneath the waves, color flickers like flame. You step into the water, and the surface opens into a kingdom of coral. Towers of pink, blue, and gold rise from the seabed, shimmering beneath the sunlight. Fish weave between them like living jewels. Everywhere you look, life hums in perfect balance. You float down among the reefs, the world quiet, except for the faint hum of water moving through coral branches. Each coral polyp is tiny, almost invisible, a soft-bodied animal building limestone homes. Yet together, they form empires that stretch for miles, sculpted by cooperation and patience. You pass a coral head the size of a small mountain, its surface crawling with color and motion. Tiny fish dart through gaps, their scales flashing silver. A shrimp perches on one branch, cleaning the gills of a resting fish. The fish stays perfectly still, trusting completely. It's a scene you've seen before, the quiet exchange of benefit and care. You swim closer, and the shrimp continues its work, methodical and gentle. It plucks tiny parasites from the fish's skin, its claws moving like fingers through silk. When it's done, the fish dips slightly, a gesture of thanks, and glides away. The shrimp returns to its coral perch, waiting for the next visitor. Scientists call this a cleaning station, and they exist all across coral reefs, natural clinics where creatures line up for grooming. You watch as another fish approaches, then another, each waiting patiently while the shrimp tends to them. There's no dominance here, no chaos, just trust, repeated 1,000 times each day. Nearby, you see another kind of partnership. Between the waving arms of an anemone, a small clownfish moves with deliberate care, brushing against the tentacles as though greeting them. The anemone's stings are deadly to most creatures, but not to this one. The clownfish has adapted a special coating on its skin, immune to the poison. You watch them together, the fish feeding scraps to the anemone sheltering the fish from predators. Each gives what the other needs. You remember seeing this before, long ago, and it feels like meeting an old friend. The coral around you glows faintly in the filtered light. Between its branches, you see flashes of color wrasses, parrotfish, and angelfish swirling in groups. The entire reef feels like a single living organism, every piece dependent on the others. You drift over a large patch of staghorn coral, its tips glowing pale blue. Tiny bubbles rise from its surface as it breathes. Coral polyps release oxygen during the day, their partnership with algae turning sunlight into energy. The algae get protection and a place to live. The coral receives nourishment in return. Without this silent exchange, the reef would fade. You think about the bleaching you've heard, of how stress and heat drive the algae away, leaving the coral pale and hollow. Yet even that isn't always an end. You've read of reefs that recover after storms, where new algae return and color blooms again. Renewal once more, even underwater. You float closer to one such coral, a small patch still pale from past stress, but at its base, you see green returning, faint and shy. Life, as always, beginning again. Scientists still wonder how coral senses its environment, so precisely how it detects temperature changes and chemical shifts long before humans notice. Some say coral has a kind of awareness, not thought but sensitivity, a language made of chemistry and light. Watching the slow pulse of color spread through its surface, you believe it. The water shimmers above, breaking sunlight into ripples. Schools of silver fish flash by, their bodies moving in perfect synchrony. Each turn is seamless, guided by invisible signals: pressure, shadow, vibration. You realize that even movement here is communication. You rest for a moment among the coral, letting the water cradle you. A small clownfish swims near your hand, curious. It hovers there for a few seconds, its fins fluttering like silk in the current. Then, as if sensing your stillness, it comes closer, brushing against your fingers. Its tiny heartbeat pulses through the water. You think of all the connections you've witnessed: the ants, the fungus, the forest roots, the whales. Life repeats its patterns everywhere: cooperation, rhythm, renewal. The coral reef might be the purest form of that unity, a living mosaic built entirely on trust. The clownfish darts back into its anemone as a shadow passes overhead. You glance up and see a sea turtle gliding slowly above, its shell reflecting sunlight in shades of copper and jade. It moves with perfect calm, unbothered by time. You watch it disappear into the bright water, its silhouette fading like a dream. You close your eyes, feeling the current swirl around you. The reef sound fills your ears, the faint clicking of shrimp, the rustle of sand, the whisper of water through coral. It's the sound of harmony, of countless lives living together without hurry or greed. Scientists still debate how these ecosystems maintain stability despite their complexity. Some call it self-organization, others resilience. But maybe it's simpler. Maybe the reef survives because it remembers balance, because it has learned that no one thrives alone. You open your eyes one last time and look down. The coral gleams softly, every branch alive, every shadow purposeful. The fish move as if guided by an unseen pulse, the rhythm of the sea itself. You feel that same rhythm in your chest, slow and even, like the echo of a faraway tide. You rise toward the surface, leaving the reef glowing quietly below. The water breaks into sunlight, and you take a breath of warm, clean air. The ocean stretches endlessly before you, calm and infinite, its surface mirroring the gold of the setting sunday. You whisper to the horizon, half to yourself, partnership keeps the planet breathing. The waves respond with a single, soft ripple agreement, or maybe applause. The sea sighs softly as you drift once more above the reef, sunlight stretching in golden ribbons beneath the waves. The glow fades gradually, deepening into blue. You let yourself float with the current, carried beyond the coral and into open water where the color grows darker and the sounds sharper. Something new stirs here, movement quick and erratic, flashes of silver slicing through the light. You follow. The water ahead churns with life. Fish leap from the surface and vanish again like liquid arrows. In the distance, you spot creatures that seem to defy gravity itself. One shoots upward, spreads wide membranes between its limbs, and glides for a heartbeat through open air before plunging back into the sea. Another races along the surface, its long legs skimming the waves as though running on water. You laugh quietly, almost disbelieving. The laws you thought were unbreakable have turned playful here. You swim closer and see the first clearly a flying fish. Its scales flash blue and silver, its fins spread like translucent wings. For a brief moment, it's airborne, gliding 30, 40, 50 meters through the air, before re-entering the ocean with a graceful splash. It doesn't truly fly, you know, but it comes close enough to feel like freedom. Scientists have studied how flying fish achieve this miracle. Their fins act as wings, but it's their tail that gives the final burst of power. They beat it against the surface in rapid strokes, propelling themselves into the air, escaping predators below. Once airborne, they tilt their bodies to catch the wind, using the air itself as refuge. You imagine what it must feel like to live between two worlds, neither land nor sea fully holding you. You watch as more leap beside you, a whole school of them, gliding together in silver arcs under the afternoon light. The sound of their bodies striking the surface echoes like soft applause. For a moment, you feel the urge to join them, to break through the surface and float above it all, just for the beauty of the motion. Then the light dims again, and you notice shadows moving deeper below. Sleek, fast forms that move as though the water belongs entirely to them. Dolphins. They swim in tight formation, spiraling upward, breaking the surface to breathe before diving again in a single, coordinated wave. Their joy is unmistakable, visible even from a distance. You follow them down. The water around them hums faintly with clicks and whistles an underwater language older than any human sound. Each dolphin calls, another answers, the conversation flowing through rhythm and pitch. You realize they navigate not just with sonar, but with song. Scientists believe dolphins sleep half a brain at a time, one hemisphere resting while the other stays alert to breathe and swim. Some even sleep while still moving, gliding slowly through the current, guided by the awake half of the mind. You picture that dreaming while traveling, drifting between worlds. You rise toward the surface again, breaking through beside them. A dolphin arcs out of the water near you, sunlight glinting off its skin. It lands with a splash that sends warm droplets across your face. The sound that follows isn't noise but laughter, the pure, bright sound of play. You can't help but smile. The dolphins circle once more, then swim off toward the horizon. You watch until they vanish, leaving the sea calm again. Not far away, the water stirs once more. Something small darts across the surface, its feet tapping lightly against the waves. You blink, unsure you've seen it right. It happens again, tiny, quick motions that look like running. You swim closer and see them clearly now. Basilisk lizards, racing across the top of the water on their hind legs, tails outstretched for balance. They sprint for a few meters before diving in, vanishing with a soft plunk. Scientists call them Jesus lizards, named for their improbable trick. Their secret lies in speed and design long toes with thin flaps of skin that slap against the water just hard enough to support their weight, but only for seconds. They use momentum to defy gravity, turning the surface into solid ground. You watch one pause on a branch, eyes alert, then dash across the water again in a blur. The sight makes you laugh softly. It's both absurd and miraculous, the kind of beauty that requires both courage and chaos. The sun lowers, scattering crimson light across the sea. The air feels thicker now, warm and heavy. You glide farther until you see something extraordinary. A small bird, wings outstretched, gliding in circles above the surface. Its motion is strange, effortless, almost sleepy. You watch as it dips, catches a current of air, then rises again without flapping. This is a frigate bird, and what you're witnessing is rest in motion. Scientists have tracked these birds sleeping while flying, their brains entering brief moments of slow-wave rest mid-glide. Even in the sky, they've found a way to dream without falling. You imagine it sleeping on the wind, body weightless, the world turning beneath you. You realize how every creature here has found its own version of freedom. The fish flying, the lizard running, the bird dreaming. Nature, it seems, doesn't resist gravity. It simply learns to dance with it. You float on your back, eyes open to the darkening sky. The first stars appear, faint but steady. You think of all the worlds you've seen, the ants, the termites, the whales, the forests, and how each bends reality just enough to keep living. The flying fish, the dolphins, the basilisk, they remind you that life's most astonishing acts often begin as simple responses to fear. Flight, after all, is only another form of escape. Yet, over time, fear becomes grace. Scientists still wonder how such adaptations begin, whether by accident, mutation, or persistence. But perhaps the cause matters less than the outcome. The sea doesn't ask why something works. It only keeps what moves beautifully. You close your eyes and let the current carry you. The air cools against your skin. In the distance, something leaps again, a flash of silver beneath the stars. The sound ripples across the surface, gentle and complete. When you open your eyes, the horizon has swallowed the Sunday. The world is blue once more, both sky and sea merging into one endless expanse. You can almost hear the faint rhythm of wings above, fins below, feet tapping lightly on the water's skin. It feels, somehow, like a heartbeat, the planet's own rhythm of motion and rest. You breathe in time with it, feeling your body sway with the waves. There is no separation now between sea and sky, between motion and stillness. You're simply part of the rhythm, gliding where the current leads, suspended between gravity and grace. Night deepens over the ocean. The horizon dissolves into indigo, and the stars above mirror the faint glimmers below. You float on your back, surrounded by the quiet hum of the sea, until a flicker of light catches your eye. It's not a reflection, it moves differently, deliberate, rhythmic. You roll gently in the water, following the glow. It pulses once, twice, then vanishes. A moment later, another flicker appears nearby, then another. Soon, the dark around you fills with tiny blue flashes, like a storm of underwater lightning. You dive beneath the surface and discover the sourcefish shimmering with sparks along their sides, threads of electricity alive within them. You've entered the realm of the electric ones. The first you meet is small and slender, a flashlight fish. It carries glowing organs beneath its eyes, tiny lanterns it can turn on and off at will. You watch as it blinks them in quick patterns, lighting its path through the dark. Around it, others answer, their pulses flickering in synchronized waves. For them, light is language. Each flash carries meaning. Follow, feed, flee. Scientists have studied these flickers and found that some species coordinate their glow in vast schools, turning entire shoals into living constellations. The light guides them, keeps them together, confuses predators. You hover amid them now, feeling their rhythm in your chest, a Morse code of survival, both practical and beautiful. Deeper still, a shadow moves a larger figure, slow and deliberate. You sense the charge in the water before you see it. Then, out of the darkness, a faint shimmer, the electric eel. It glides through the deep with silent authority, body coiled in potential. A ripple of current travels along its length, invisible yet palpable. You keep your distance. Though called an eel, it's closer to a knifefish, its long body filled with electrocytes, specialized cells capable of generating hundreds of volts. The eel doesn't just use its electricity to hunt, it uses it to perceive. By sending low-voltage pulses and reading the distortions in their return, it sees the world through electricity, a map made of invisible touch. You watch as it pauses near a stone. For a moment, the water around it hums, the tiniest vibration brushing your skin. Then snap, a flash of power. The eel releases a high-voltage burst, stunning a hidden fish you hadn't even noticed. The prey drifts upward. The eel claims it with quiet finality. The pulse lingers in your mind long after it fades. Electricity, you realize, is not separate from life. Every heartbeat you've ever felt, every nerve impulse, every thought that's crossed your mind, each is a spark, a controlled storm of energy moving through flesh. The eel simply reminds you of what you already are, current given shape. You rise again, and the water around you hums faintly, with residual charge. Tiny electric rays skim across the seafloor, their bodies round and flat like rippling coins. When disturbed, they emit soft shocks, not to harm, but to warn. Above them, bioluminescent plankton drift lazily, turning the charged water into faint, glowing threads. It feels as if you're floating inside the circuitry of the Earth itself. Scientists still debate how early creatures first harnessed electricity. Some say it began as a defense, others as navigation. Yet over time, it became communication, a shared pulse between beings, a literal connection through energy. You realize that even in darkness, the sea never stops speaking. A group of flashlight fish swims past again, their glow moving in gentle rhythm. For a moment, their lights align perfectly, forming a moving wave of blue. You can almost imagine the sound it would make if it could be heard, a soft, harmonious hum. You drift closer to a coral ridge and notice small creatures hidden among the rocks, electric crabs, their shells reflecting the faint glimmers of the fish. They tap their claws together, producing weak sparks that flash across their exoskeletons. Communication again. It seems that everything here, in the quiet depths, speaks not in words, but in currents. You rest your hand in the water, palm open. A soft tickle passes over your fingers, a faint buzz like static electricity brushing your skin. It doesn't hurt. It feels intimate, almost like touch exchanged between worlds. You close your eyes and focus on the sensation, the rhythm of tiny pulses traveling through the sea, overlapping, merging, fading. It feels like a heartbeat that belongs not to you, but to the planet. The water around you vibrates gently, and for a moment, you can sense the pattern beneath all movement, the invisible energy that binds everything. Electric fields aren't confined to creatures. The Earth itself generates one. Storms charge the air, lightning strikes feed the ocean, and even the planet's magnetic field hums faintly beneath the crust. Every spark of life, from neuron to nebula, follows the same rule. Motion creates energy, and energy remembers motion. You drift upward again. The surface glows faintly now, the moon's reflection shimmering with electric shimmer. The fish rise too, their bodies glinting like blue fireflies in water. A single eel glides beneath you, leaving a faint trail of phosphorescence as it moves away into darkness. The ocean is utterly silent, yet full of voices. You can almost hear them now, the clicks of fish, the low electric murmurs, the steady pulse of your own heart answering back. Scientists still wonder whether electric communication in animals might one day reveal something about thought itself, whether consciousness could be, at its core, a pattern of charge. But perhaps, you think, the answer is already here. Awareness hums wherever energy flows, between neurons, between waves, between you and everything around you. You float there for a long time, letting the invisible electricity pass through you. Each pulse feels like a breath, a reminder that connection doesn't require sound or language, only resonance. When you finally open your eyes, the ocean has grown calm again. The light fades. The stars above seem closer now, their brightness mirrored in the faint sparkle below. For a heartbeat, you can't tell whether the glow comes from the fish or from the sky, or whether they've become the same. You exhale slowly, your breath dissolving into bubbles that rise and vanish. The current moves again, gentle, carrying you toward the deeper dark. You follow it, trusting the rhythm, trusting the hum that guides you forward, the quiet conversation between current and life, between spark and silence. The hum of electricity fades behind you, and the water grows warmer, thicker, tinted with the mineral scent of stone. You drift downward through a corridor of shimmering bubbles, following a current that feels ancient. The light changes again, yellow now, then orange, until the darkness gives way to an eerie glow. The seafloor below you boils softly. Plumes of steam rise from cracks in the rock, glowing faintly with heat. Around them, the water shimmers, as though breathing. This is no ordinary ocean floor, it's a volcanic vent field, one of the Earth's hidden forges. The pressure here could crush metal, and yet, impossibly, the world is alive. You hover above the vents, watching the columns of hot water billow upward. Each vent releases minerals and gases from deep within the planet: iron, sulfur, methane, the building blocks of life. Around them, strange creatures move through the heat: white crabs, ghostly shrimp, and long tube-shaped worms, crowned with feathery plumes of red. You drift closer, expecting death in such a place, but instead you find abundance. These organisms thrive where sunlight never reaches, feeding not on photosynthesis, but chemosynthesis, turning the chemical energy from the Earth's own breath into nourishment. Life here runs on fire and stone. Scientists first discovered these ecosystems only a few decades ago. Before that, it was thought that all life depended on sunlight, but the vents rewrote that rule. In the darkness, in the pressure, in the heat, life found another way. You watch a worm sway gently in the current, its body gleaming like silk. Within it, bacteria process sulfur from the vents, turning poison into sustenance. You reach out, your fingers tingling with the warmth radiating through the water. It feels alive, not just the creatures, but the very rock itself. The earth breathes here, exhaling heat from its core, feeding the life that clings to its edges. A small cloud of white shrimp drifts by, their eyes reduced to pale spots that sense only faint heat. They move in silent flocks, feeding from bacterial mats that coat the rocks. The mats themselves shimmer faintly in the light, forming patterns that look like galaxies collapsed onto the ocean floor. The scene feels cosmic, as though the ocean is remembering the stars it came from. You realize you are surrounded by extremes: boiling water beside, freezing cold, poison beside breath. Yet somehow, it balances. Each organism here depends on the others. Worms shelter bacteria. Bacteria feed worms. Crabs scavenge what the vents leave behind, and everything circles back into life again. Scientists still wonder whether this is how life on Earth began, deep in vents like these, where chemistry and heat met in endless reaction. Perhaps the first cells were born in places like this, nurtured by fire beneath an endless sea. You watch a bubble of gas rise and burst, and you can almost imagine that first spark of life, 4 billion years ago, repeating itself endlessly here. The light flickers, red and gold, reflecting off metallic crusts of iron and manganese. Each vent looks like a candle flame frozen in water. The heat distorts your vision slightly, turning shapes into mirages. The longer you watch, the more you feel that time itself is melting here. You swim closer to a black smoker, a tall chimney of rock spewing clouds of superheated minerals. The column rises like a storm of glitter, each particle catching the faint light in flashes of copper and blue. When the hot water meets the cold ocean, the minerals crystallize instantly, falling like snow. You reach out and catch a few grains in your hand. They're soft, almost silky, disintegrating at your touch. You marvel at how fragile the balance is. A shift of temperature, a tremor of rock, and the entire landscape would vanish. Yet for now, it endures, just as it has for millennia. You realize that this place, though harsh, might be one of the most stable ecosystems on Earth. It doesn't need sunlight or seasons. Its rhythm comes from within the planet itself. A small crab crawls onto a rock beside you, its shell white and pitted with texture. It pauses, raising one claw as if to greet you. Its body glows faintly in the vent's light. You can see tiny organisms moving across its shell, forming patterns like constellations. You smile. Even here, life decorates itself with stars. The current shifts, carrying you deeper into the field. The water becomes clearer, quieter. You see long tendrils of bacteria hanging from rocks, glowing faintly like threads of silk. They wave gently, feeding on hydrogen sulfide and transforming it into life's essence. The simplicity of it all feels profound. Chemical reaction, as heartbeat. You drift above a ridge where multiple vents breathe together. The plumes twist into each other, merging, separating, forming slow spirals that look like galaxies in miniature. You think of the coral reefs, the forest roots, the ants, and their tunnels everywhere you've been. The same shapes repeat: spirals, branches, waves, the geometry of survival. Scientists still debate how long these vent communities last. Some collapse within decades, others endure for centuries, only to rebuild again in new cracks elsewhere. Life follows the fire wherever it moves. The planet's surface might look calm, but below, it's always reshaping, breathing, renewing. You realize, with quiet awe, that the Earth itself is alive, not metaphorically, but literally. Its veins are magma, its breath is steam, its heartbeat is the slow movement of plates. And here, at its pulse points, life gathers, small and fierce, thriving in the warmth of creation. You stay there, suspended in the dark, watching bubbles rise like thoughts dissolving into water. The hum beneath you grows faintly rhythmic, a deep vibration you can feel in your bones. It's the sound of molten rock moving miles below, the planet's hidden engine. The sound is low and slow, like a heartbeat magnified across time. You close your eyes and let that sound surround you. For a moment, you feel part of something unimaginably vast, a system of heat and chemistry, life and rock, birth and renewal. When you open your eyes again, the vents still glow, the water shimmers gold. A trail of white shrimp moves in a slow spiral upward, carrying the vent's warmth into the colder sea above. You follow them, rising gently until the light dims again and the water cools. The shimmer below fades to shadow, but the warmth lingers in you, deep and quiet, like memory. The warmth of the vents fades as you rise higher through the ocean, where the pressure lessens and the water begins to breathe again. Pale light filters down from above, a faint, wavering blue that feels like morning beneath the sea. You follow it, breaking the surface into air heavy with salt and silence. The waves are calm. The stars overhead have dimmed, replaced by the faint blush of dawn. You float for a while, watching that first hint of light widen across the sky. Somewhere far below, the vents still burn, but up here, the world turns quietly, carrying memories of those ancient fires. The surface ripples softly, and as you drift, your mind begins to wander, not forward this time, but backward, toward the past still living in the present. A sound reaches you, the distant, low cry of a bird. You look up and see dark wings slicing across the sky. The shape is heavy, deliberate, a cormorant diving into the water, disappearing in a splash. When it re-emerges, a silver fish glints in its beak. You smile, the hunter, unchanged across centuries. You swim toward the shore that now glimmers faintly in the distance. As you wade through the shallows, your feet touch sand, then stones smooth with age. The world around you feels old. A line of mangroves rises ahead, their roots curling like claws into the tide. The smell of salt, mud, and leaves fills the air. A ripple moves nearby. You turn and see eyes just above the surface, yellow, ancient, unblinking. A crocodile drifts silently, half submerged, its scaly back glinting under the new light. Its stillness is perfect. The creature has no need to hurry. Time already belongs to it. You stay still, letting it glide past. Its movement is so smooth it barely disturbs the water. You remember that crocodiles have changed little in 200 million years. They survived the age of dinosaurs, the fall of giants, the reshaping of continents. When everything else vanished, they remained. Scientists often call them living fossils, creatures whose bodies have outlasted epochs. You watch the crocodile slide into the reeds, disappearing as quietly as it appeared. Its survival isn't luck, it's design perfected by patience. Evolution no longer needs to adjust what already works. You step onto the shore, and the landscape opens into a quiet delta, warm mist curling above the water. Birds cry faintly in the distance high, haunting calls that echo through the still air. You look up and see herons gliding low, their wings slow and graceful. Each movement feels ancient too, as if the air itself remembers. Then, far above them, something larger moves. You squint against the light and realize it's a pelican, enormous. Its wingspan, broad enough to cast a shadow over the water. It circles once, then folds its wings and plunges downward, hitting the surface with a splash that sends silver droplets flying. When it lifts again, its pouch is full. Its form is almost prehistoric, a reminder that flight itself was once born from creatures that crawled and swam before they soared. You walk along the water's edge, where shells crunch softly underfoot. One catches your eye, a spiral shell, pink and white, worn smooth by waves. You pick it up, and when you hold it to your ear, you hear a faint echo of the sea. But inside that shell lies something older, a pattern older than the coral or even the trees. The spiral, the same design found in galaxies, storms, and DNA, the same echo that connects everything that's ever lived. You set the shell down gently and keep walking. Farther inland, the landscape changes again. You find yourself among ferns taller than you, their fronds unfurling like green feathers. The air grows thick with humidity, the smell of life rich and damp. You've stepped, it seems, into another time. And in a way, you have. These plants are ancient too, descendants of forests that once covered the earth before flowers even existed. You brush your fingers across a fern's leaf, feeling its cool texture. It curls slightly at your touch, as if in memory of long ago rain. You think of how it has survived ice ages, droughts, and storms not by fighting, but by adapting, by folding inward, waiting, enduring. A rustle catches your attention. Between the ferns, you spot movement, a shadow gliding through the underbrush. Then you see it clearly. A small bird, brown with a streak of gold along its neck. But when it turns its head, you notice something unmistakable. Its beak lined with tiny tooth-like ridges. You blink, surprised. It's an ancient trait, rarely seen now, a whisper from evolution's memory. You follow it for a while, watching how it moves, how its wings twitch and spread. In its shape, you see echoes of the reptiles. It once was the link between air and earth, between predator and song. Scientists still study birds as living fossils, tracing their bones back to the first feathered dinosaurs. The line between past and present, you realize, isn't a boundary but a bridge. Evolution doesn't erase, it edits. The old remains hidden inside the new, waiting for quiet moments like this to reveal itself. You continue walking until the land rises slightly and the air shifts once more. The ferns thin out, giving way to tall grasses swaying in golden waves. Beyond them, you hear something vast, a deep, mournful sound that vibrates in your chest. You know that sound. You look out over the distant ocean and see a tail break the surface, broad, powerful, trailing water as it disappears again. A whale. You stand and watch as it surfaces once more, exhaling a cloud of mist that catches the morning light. Its shape is immense, ancient, elegant. Whales, too, carry the past in their bones. Their ancestors once walked on land before returning to the sea millions of years ago. Inside every flipper is the ghost of a hand. You imagine that creatures leaving the ocean, then longing for it enough to return. You can almost hear the earth laughing softly at the irony. The whale surfaces again, closer this time, its breath loud and warm in the cool air. You feel the vibration in your chest. For a moment, its eye breaks the surface, dark and gleaming, and you meet its gaze. There's something deep there, something timeless. You think of the forests, the coral, the vents, and realize this same consciousness, the awareness that endures, adapts, remembers, has been flowing through life since the beginning. Scientists still debate how much whales remember, whether they pass knowledge across generations through song alone. But listening to that call, the low, rising tone that seems to hold sorrow and peace in equal measure, your certain memory travels not in words, but in rhythm. Perhaps the ocean itself remembers, through them. The whale dives again, its tail lifting in one slow, final arc before vanishing beneath the water. The sound of its call lingers, fading into silence. You stand there, waves lapping at your ankles, feeling the world breathe through you. Every creature you've seen, the crocodile, the fern, the whale, each one carries time like a second heart. You realize that evolution is not progress but continuity, not a ladder but a river, and you are part of its current. The sun breaks the horizon at last, spilling gold across the sea. The world glows with it, every surface shining with ancient memory. You take a deep breath, the air warm and salty, and feel the pulse of life in every direction. Past and present flow together here, unchanged, unending. The morning light unfurls over the sea, slow and forgiving. You stand at the edge of the shore, the sand damp beneath your feet, the foam curling softly around your ankles. The sky glows in 1,000 shades of rose and gold, and for a moment, you feel as though the whole planet is waking with you. You take a deep breath. The air tastes of salt and sunlight. The horizon stretches endlessly ahead, and behind it, the memories of every world you've wandered through, the glowing depths, the whispering forests, the patient coral, the sleeping frogs, the bending bamboo. You carry them all now, inside you like quiet music. You turn slowly, watching the light reach the hills, the trees, the clouds that drift lazily above. Everything glitters faintly with dew. Even the smallest blade of grass catches the sun and throws it back in a flash of brilliance. Life, it seems, can't help but shine. You begin to walk, the sand cool where the tide has just receded. Each footprint fills gently with water, erasing itself before the next step. The ocean leaves no mark, it only teaches rhythm. You stop once more to look at the sea. The waves move as they always have, patient and steady, each one carrying dust from the stars, salt from ancient bones, and whispers from creatures long gone. The thought makes you smile. You feel small, but not insignificant, just part of something vast, as natural as breath. You look down at your hand. The morning light glows through your skin, turning it translucent. You can almost see the thin rivers of blood flowing beneath the surface, pulsing gently in time with your heart. Each beat is electricity, chemistry, and memory all at once. You think of the electric eels, the glowing fish, the hidden pulses of life in every cell. You realize what they carry, you do too. The same current that moves through them hums in you. You tilt your head back and let the sunlight warm your face. The breeze rises, carrying the scent of wet earth and salt. It brushes your hair, your skin, and it feels almost like the planet's hand passing gently across your shoulders. Then, far above, you see the faint line of the moon still hanging pale in daylight. The reminder of night's calm lingers, how the earth never truly sleeps, only shifts from one kind of peace to another. Scientists often say that every element in your body, carbon, oxygen, iron, calcium, was forged in the heart of a star. You close your eyes and imagine it. Stellar furnaces burning billions of years ago, scattering their ashes into the cosmos. Those ashes drifted, gathered, cooled, and one day formed the ground beneath your feet, the water in your veins, the air you just inhaled. You are, quite literally, the earth dreaming of itself. The realization comes gently. like a wave rolling in slow motion. Everything you've seen, the coral's partnership, the bamboo's stillness, the whale's song, the flower's deception, each one carries the same origin, the same fire. Life, no matter its form, is the universe learning what it means to exist. You step closer to the water, watching it sparkle in the rising light. The reflection blinds you briefly, and for an instant, you see both sky and sea blur into one. The boundary between above and below vanishes, and you feel it again, that quiet unity, that endless rhythm. The waves lap softly against your legs, cool and comforting. You kneel and scoop a handful of seawater, letting it slip slowly through your fingers. Each droplet catches the light, breaking it into tiny rainbows before returning home to the tide. You whisper to it, not words, but gratitude. You stand again, feeling warmth seep through your chest, and look out toward the horizon. The sun is fully risen now, a blazing disk reflected perfectly on the calm ocean surface. The light is gentle, not harsh, touching everything equally. It doesn't ask who deserves it, it simply gives. You close your eyes and listen. The sound of the world has changed. You can hear the pulse of the waves, the faint cry of a distant gull, the rustle of palm fronds, the hum of insects beginning their morning chorus. Each sound adds to the same song, life, awake once more. You take a final deep breath. The air feels cool in your lungs, filled with everything the earth has ever been. Mountains, oceans, forests, dust, fire, stars. It moves through you, like memory made air. Scientists still wonder whether life elsewhere in the universe might share the same spark, the same chemistry, the same longing to endure. But as you stand here, on this one small planet where oceans breathe and flowers dream, you feel certain that if life exists beyond, it will hum to the same tune. It will glow, grow, and change, just as you have. You reach down once more and draw your fingers through the wet sand, tracing a spiral that fades almost immediately under a new wave. Everything returns, everything begins again. The sunlight glints off the water one last time. The warmth on your skin softens your thoughts, and your breathing slows. The world, the sea, the sky all blur together in gentle light. The air feels thick with peace. You close your eyes. The sound of the waves becomes the sound of your heartbeat, steady, timeless, endless. The earth keeps breathing, and you breathe with it. And as the last breeze passes, you realize something beautiful. You've never really been apart from it. You were never just on Earth. You have always been of it. Your body, your breath, your pulse, each one is the planet continuing itself through you. Stardust given heartbeat. You smile softly, the warmth of the sun resting on your face, and let your thoughts drift like leaves on water. The world hums around you in perfect, wordless harmony. The tide sighs once more. The light turns golden. Everything is still. Now the story quiets, and the world drifts into calm. The air grows softer, the light dimmer, as though the planet itself is easing toward rest. You feel your body sink deeper into comfort, each muscle loosening, each breath deepening. The waves murmur at a distance, steady and kind. You imagine the warmth of sunlight fading to twilight again, the horizon turning violet, then blue, then deep indigo. The stars return one by one, slow, gentle, familiar. Each one flickers like the heartbeat of time itself. You think of all the places you've traveled in this dream. Forests that spoke through roots, oceans that glowed like galaxies, creatures that defied gravity and time. Every one of them is still there, breathing quietly beneath the same sky. You carry their rhythm now, folded safely inside you. The air feels cool on your skin. The smell of salt and rain lingers faintly. In this final moment, there is nothing to do. No need to move, no need to think, only to rest, to let the planet cradle you as it has always done. You take one slow, deep breath. The exhale comes easily, like a wave retreating back into sea. The night closes gently around you. The stars hum softly overhead, and as your thoughts drift towards sleep, the earth hums with you, quiet, endless, alive. You are safe. You are home. You are stardust, dreaming of light. Sweet dreams.